I remember driving around as a sophomore and a junior in high school listening to your radio program in the morning. I wasn't there when you gave the speech at the Lincoln Memorial, is that right? But I saw it. I remember saw it being simulcasted. Wow. And you said some very, I think, prophetic things there.
I know it. I have been looking for the next George Washington. I can't find him. He may be 8 years old, but this is the moment.
And now 18-year-old Charlie Kirk is saying enough is enough.
This is Charlie Kirk reporting from Marquette University. I like ideas. I don't like politicians. I don't like parties. I like principle.
Do not go quietly when truth is on the line.
I mean, democratic socialism, the people's social, it's socialism, which inherently means the following. It is immoral, it is evil, it is impractical when put in practice.
Do not surrender to the shadows.
But I'm here for the silent majority that is silent no longer, to give them the courage, confidence, and conviction to fight on campuses.
Even when, and especially if, you think the battle can no longer be won.
We're not going to allow the ruling class elites, the radical left, to continue to destroy this country from within. And we are a movement here that is growing by leaps and bounds.
Charlie Kirk lived that mandate.
And I believe that marriage is a beautiful thing. And I believe that having children is a moral good for society.
Biggest blessing.
Oh, without a doubt.
I don't think you know the impact. You say, oh, Glenn, you made an impact on my life. Do you realize the impact you're having on the country? Remember when I did the thing in Washington, D.C. and Restoring Honor?
I do.
And I said, somewhere in this crowd, maybe he's 7, maybe he's 15, somewhere in this crowd is the next George Washington.
And 25 years from now, he will come not to this stair, but to those stairs.
We want to overemphasize grace when in reality, Christ loves us too much to have us continue to live in sin. He wants us to try to elevate our actions to glorify God in all that we do.
And he can proclaim, I have a new dream.
I just went to church for the first time in several years.
Today we went to church for the first time in a really long time.
I've never ever opened the Bible before, and something was calling me to my husband's Bible.
Here's the line for the second service, and there's never a line.
Jesus of Nazareth, and the resurrection is the pinpoint of my belief that Jesus did rise from the grave so that we may live.
The light is dimming, yes, but it always does before the dawn.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. What? Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, aka Good Lawgic. Tonight we're going to be focusing primarily on a story shared by one of Charlie's friends who was with him when he died. He was with him, carried, as I understood it, him telling the story. I went through the story pretty quick. As I understood it, he was one of the people who helped carry him to the vehicle that was used to transport him to the hospital. And I think that's something we all should know exactly what happened. We all know about, we've all seen the shot, the chaos that was happening there. But this is a close friend of his who gave pretty vivid detail as to exactly what steps happened. And some of you may have seen it. It doesn't seem like it's got a lot of views. But I think everyone should. So that's what we're going to do. I also want to break down for you and discuss with you Jimmy Kimmel being placed on hiatus for a joke he made about Tyler Robinson, the accused killer of Charlie Kirk, and taking it as a given that he's from MAGA and the ramifications of that, and basically get your thoughts and feedback as to whether or not that's a good thing. Now, we have a goal up there that I should mention to you. There's another topic that I was thinking about covering, where there's this developing brewing story that was started by woke right, but I think it's gaining a little more traction as to whether or not billionaire Bill Ackman got into a fight with Charlie about Charlie's refusal to support Israel. And that happened within the past several weeks. And what, if anything, that means, and what the different sides are saying about whether or not such an event even happened. So if we hit our goal, we have our regular goal up tonight, which is, what was it, 15 yellow super chats or higher. So that's $10 or more, 15 chats plus rants. So collectively, chats and rants, 15 of them at $10 or more, that I will, after we wrap up our main stories here, which I expect to be, probably over 2 hours, that I'll go into the Bill Ackman, the claims about Bill Ackman, his position, and try and break that down for you, so we can try and explore that together and see exactly what the story is. Where's my jacket? I'm neglectful. That's a good question. I see Muffin Rando wants to know where's my jacket. I'm a little bit chilled tonight, and that's because I haven't told you that I have someone backstage, someone who's been with me once before. In fact, he was with me on the show the night that Charlie died, and I decided to bring him back on in here to spend the evening here to entertain you guys. Not that puts any pressure on him, that if he fails to entertain you, but you guys really liked him last time. You really liked him. Like, I was trying to discourage you from voting on again in favor of me bringing him back, and it didn't work. Like, you guys still voted him to come back. So what am I going to do? I gotta, sort of on this sort of thing, I gotta go with what the people want. That's why I say, welcome back, Sin. How are you?
What's going on, buddy? Yeah, you really encouraged them. It dropped from 81% to 79% really quick. So I'm back to torture you.
I think I offered them money. I think
I think you did. Yeah, that was a way to go. Typical Good Logic moment right there. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I enjoy being
very
here.
Jewish, right? That's not very Jewish.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I figured it was a little too early in the show. I'd let us warm up a little bit to it first,
right. Right. Oh, I guess using your Jewish money. Yeah. So there you go. I'm seeing a message here from Linda Vetter saying Rumble and local streams are not working. That's very disconcerting to me. Why would Rumble and locals not be working? Let me check into what's happening there, because it should be working. Seeing the shot. It is working. It looks like it's behind.
Probably Rumble does run a little bit behind.
Not just like the normal 30 seconds behind, but it's like, I don't.
We done a test on it one time on my show. It was pretty far behind. I don't remember what it was though. But
yeah, I think.
How's it going, chat? It's good to see y'all again.
Behind?
It's a nice Wednesday. It's starting to get chilly down here in the South. I don't know about you up there, New York.
It does show this. I'm sorry, I'm still looking at what's going on with Rumble. It is working there. When the locals chat that they're complaining about, that's on me that I didn't open up the locals chat, but I'm going to remedy that now. So the locals chat is open now. Locals is open. I apologize for that. But yeah, I texted in there. There's only 5 people on Rumble right now, which normally by this point there should be like over 100. So I don't know.
I didn't know you got that many people on Rumble. Man, that's huge numbers over there.
Yeah, I normally get like on a good show I'll get like 300 or 400.
Man, okay.
Live viewers, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get it.
Viewers. On a good show. On a lesser show,
I think we get 2 or 3. So
yeah, I was getting that for a long time. I was getting that for a very long time.
We never promote our Rumble. It's just a way for us to store our videos in case YouTube acts like YouTube. So
that's smart. You're smart thinking. Smart thinking.
Trying
indeed. Yeah. Cynic, my arch nemesis.
Oh yeah, me and him had a heated debate over was it James Comer stuff today about those meetings I was telling you about before the show. So it's all right. He now knows who's correct in this conversation. Don't worry about it.
Jay Schwellick asking what my goal is for memory locals chat. I took care of it. I fixed it already. I did forget it initially, but I remedied that just moments ago, probably while you were typing this up. Now we have to give money. That's true. If you want to hear about the Jews trying to control Charlie Kirk, I guess you're going to have to
give money, please, because
there you go.
I want to give my take on this.
There, he wants to say. Cynic has thoughts. He's got thoughts.
I have a couple thoughts on this. Well, I saw a bunch of those videos, man, and I'm like, I really want to see this conversation, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So he has thoughts. He wants to get these thoughts off his chest.
A little bit.
You know, with like
they're weighing me down.
Right. I'm one of his 100 favorite Jews. So it's
number 1, actually. Number 1.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. On behalf of my people, I say thank you. All right. Well, anyway, let's. I want to jump right in, and this might be a little bit somber. This is when we're watching this story here. So as I open the show, I mentioned to you that I want to go through this telling over Frank from his name is Frank Turek, who is a close friend. He did an hour and 15-minute long video. We're not going to watch the entire thing. He talks a lot about a lot of different topics. But he's a close enough friend that he was in the vehicle with Charlie when he died, and he actually references how he looks at him like he's like Charlie's his fourth. He said, "I have 3 sons, and I always felt like Charlie was my 4th." So that's a pretty close relationship.
It's going to be a heavy video to watch. I'm here for it, though. We'll get. It is going
to be heavy. So you got to try to find the right tone. The right tone.
I got you, man. Yeah.
But we'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah, we'll work our way through.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this is the middle of his video when he's about to start telling over the story as to what happens with the shooting.
We head right into the base of the amphitheater. Charlie's like, "Welcome to the big leagues." I mean, there are just people everywhere. We'll show you some footage here. I mean, they were everywhere. I've never seen a crowd so enthusiastic to see Charlie. So Charlie starts flipping these hats. You know, he's got the Make America Great Again hats, the 47 hats. And so I'm just kind of standing there, and someone on staff just hands me a row of hats. So I go, I guess I get to flip them too. So I'm flipping them all over the place. And people are just excited. They're chanting USA, USA. I mean, they just love Charlie. So I start FaceTiming my wife. I'm saying, "Look at this. This is incredible." Then I start FaceTiming my son and my daughter-in-law while Charlie sits down and begins to ask questions. Now, this is where you may have seen an internet conspiracy. The man in the white hat was giving signals to the shooter. Yeah, the man in the white hat was me, okay? I did this with my hat. Maybe I touched my nose or something while I'm holding my phone because I'm FaceTiming my son and daughter-in-law.
Which I think this is a great comment about, like, you know, everyone, when there's an event like this, everyone wants to be the one to crack it, you know, crack the case open.
Yeah.
So
it's the JFK logic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you think you got? No, I got it. Look at the guy.
I got the answer to this.
Notice the guy. Yeah. There's another. You know,
who's this guy in the white hat that scratched his nose right at the right moment? Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. And maybe the shot came from behind him. You know.
Because,
you know,
oh no!
You heard that one too, didn't you?
I saw.
You heard that one too.
And then I saw Alex Jones going in on that. That was a.
It's like, oh God, just stop it. I mean, come. I mean. If you say that there's no sources of information we can trust ever, then you can weave whatever theory you want, because there's no sense of reality at all.
You can weave any videos that you like. Yeah.
Right. Especially now, Sin, because of AI. Because of AI, it's like, okay, so we can't trust this video. You can't trust these people. Maybe they're actors. You can't trust these people. Like maybe, you know, that this person once met Nancy Pelosi and also lived, like, you know, less than half a mile away from James Comey. So obviously, you know, they once walked into a Starbucks at the same time. So they're clearly besties and are plotting to take over the world. And you can't prove me wrong. No, prove it. How do you know I'm wrong? How do you know I'm wrong?
The problem with that, though, I see, is that, you know, the FBI has to chase down every lead. And that leads them chasing their tails because people.
Oh, the FBI is crooked also, but Kash Patel is. Well, we saw what Kash Patel did with Epstein, so they're crooked. So you can't trust anyone. That's why it's a form of grift, where it's like, if I can
Ooh, yeah.
feed into the insecurities of my audience and get their minds start churning, and the more crafty a
Yeah.
narrative and more little threads I can tie together, then
Well, then yeah.
the more click the more bait I'm clicking, I'm getting in the clicks, and now, but here's the thing, they're able to hide their bad intentions that they're just making crap up under reality, which is there have been a lot of conspiracies. Like there have been a lot of the previous conspiracies have had truth, but that doesn't mean that whatever event happens tomorrow is a result of the deep state trying to control us. And you sort of need to sort of like parse through like what is really making sense here, and not try to find like how this event is also a conspiracy as soon as an event unfolds. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It is a huge problem, but people are going to do it, man. They want that money, they want those clicks, and when it comes to making money like that, a lot of people don't have any morals, they don't have any scruples. So it's
100%. We can't stop them from doing it because First Amendment rights. They can do whatever they want to try and basically grift from people like Street Montbank, who's selling miracle hair potion. So for 30 cents. So they're basically hawking their stories. They're the same. It's the same thing with a 21st century twist to it. But the key is to help the public better understand.
How do you shame these people though, right? Because they can just turn around and go, I'm trying to help. Look at this tragedy. Nobody's talking about this one thing, and this could solve a bigger mystery, or unfold this Rubik's Cube for you. And so it's to me, it's a little bit of a catch-22 when you look at it that way. But the grifting I'm seeing right now, some of it's really gross.
You're not correct, Cynic. I will stand by what I say about Discord and Reddit advertisers need to be scared and keep up the great stream, Joe. Thank you. I'm going to try to overcome having Cynic here. I appreciate you. T-Rex Crypto Travel says, breaking news, Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off air by Nexstar Media Group and Sinclair Broadcast Group. Sinclair is going to air a memorial to Charlie Kirk instead, and Trump finally declared Antifa a terrorist group. I missed that.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
Yeah, dig that up. Dig that up, like something on that like looks official. All right, so you'll be able to share it with me. So because make yourself useful. All right? Thanks. All right, so I'm good with being top 20. I'm good with being top 20. I'm not looking to change anyone's religious perspectives, but thank you, Joe. All right, so let's go onward. This is, by the way, Frank Turek is the individual, the eyewitness who's talking here.
Huge Charlie fan, so I'm maybe 30 feet from Charlie. I'm right off his right elbow. I'm standing probably just off camera if the camera's going forward on him. Maybe about his 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and I'm just filming away. And by the way, to show you how stupid this is, they thought Dan, his main security guy, was giving signals too. Signals for what? You don't need signals. There's a sniper up there. He doesn't need anyone to signal anything. He can look through his scope and see what's going on. What do you think? He's looking through his scope and going, what's the signal? What am I? It's crazy that people actually believe this stuff.
I think the reason people believe it is because of the timing, where he's talking about, trans violence, and he's getting, and the shooter was someone who was shooting him because of his stance on trans violence. So that's why people, question the timing, that it's like right that moment is when, that's what I think they assuming he's signaling. But I'm going to trust this guy here that these people are trying to find something when there's nothing.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
If it's on the internet, it must be true, right? Don't believe in these crazy conspiracy theories. You need evidence. It's ridiculous. I didn't even know about it for probably 36 hours after the murder, or 30 hours after the murder. We were in a bubble. We were just paying attention to the family. We were just paying attention to the friends. Didn't go on the internet much. When I finally meet my wife back in Phoenix, she goes, there are millions of people who think you were in conspiracy to kill Charlie. I'm like, what? It's crazy. So thanks to my friends Elisa Childers and Seth Dillon and others, they tried to clear the air on that. You still have people saying, oh yeah, we need to check into this guy and this other guy too, the security guy. It's ridiculous. So the first question, Charlie's presenting evidence for the gospel to a Mormon. That's one of the things that one of the questions that we had prepared for just before the event. And then he began to answer a question on trans violence. Someone was saying, oh, should we take guns away from trans people? Well, in light of what happened, the answer is yes. Because right about then, I hear this pop. It sounded like it was close. We later learned it was from over 100 yards away. And out of the corner of my eye, I see Charlie go back. And so I start to head toward Charlie, and I see that the security guys are already there. So then I duck thinking, okay, maybe there's other shots coming. And then I'm still on the phone. And my daughter-in-law told me these were the first words out of my mouth. No. So I went behind. There's like a backdrop. Charlie's sitting here. There's a backdrop. I'm over here. So I go behind because I know the security guys are taking them out the other side. So I'm running with them toward the car. And the phone is still on. And ladies and gentlemen, I was afraid that at some point this was going to happen. I thought that somebody would take a shot at Charlie. And I think maybe Charlie did at some point think so too, but he thought that the security was good. And his security team was good. But somebody way up there, whoever should have had that blew it. I don't know who that was. But I
don't know what that means. Whoever was supposed to be up there, do they actually, when he goes to these events, do they try and address sightlines? Is it as thorough? You would imagine with the president of the United States, when he goes out to a rally or something like that, or is speaking in public, that the Secret Service are going to basically be scouting the event well beforehand, looking for sightlines like the one Thomas Crooks tried using in Butler, PA, and try and make sure that any potential sightlines like that would be well covered. But is it
not with Charlie's security? No,
that's what I'm saying. You think Charlie Kirk security is that level?
No, they're not going to go out days in advance and check sightlines and then have snipers on roofs or even have anybody on the roof, right? They're just doing local, surrounding protection. You know what I mean? They're not.
Yeah, they're looking for people with a handgun who might come up to him.
Now you might have people now that take more precautions, and instead of doing these open venues, let's say Milo goes back on the road, right? We discussed that last week. You might have him doing more closed venues or actually having somebody do line of sight now, right? Like it's something that these guys have to think about now. So, we'll see. But I seriously doubt that his security detail done anything like that. But somebody should have been scanning rooftops. Somebody should have been scanning crowd. And there's a guy that, dropped the ball somewhere.
I guess. I wouldn't even know how to scan rooftops, but I guess if you have military training, perhaps you have.
I mean, normally, I spoke with my brother about this. He was in the special forces, and he said that if you're going to do a detail like that, you normally have, you have a zone that you cover or a section, and you should be covering the crowd and the rooftops, or you're designated to win. So there was a failure there, but even then, there's nothing you could have done to stop him because the moment you saw him, if he took the shot, he took the shot.
Right.
You're not bulletproof. So.
Right. Although you have to imagine it took him probably a couple of minutes to set the shot up. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, it depends on his training. I don't know anything about the kid or anything like that. But being from the South, I mean, I can pull a pretty decent shot off pretty quickly. So, yeah, I would say a couple minutes. So somebody should have been able to get Charlie down, but somebody would have most likely got hurt.
Yeah. All right, let's go forward.
Thought about what would I do? What would I do if that happened and I was there? Now, here's what Erica wants me to relate on Sunday. This is going to be the hard part, but maybe also the comforting part. Charlie Kirk was literally like a son to me. I have 3 sons. He was like my 4th son. My 3 sons are a little bit older than Charlie. He was like my 4th son. So when he was hit, if your son got hit, what would you do? What would you do? I got in the car because if there was any way I could save him, I had to do something. And I couldn't just, okay, just take him. You guys got it. So they got him into the side of the car. It was an SUV. It was the SUV we took over. And I'm on one side, and there's actually some video of this. Somebody's taking video of this. I'm on one side of the car, the right side, and they're getting Charlie in. So I run over to the other side, but the guy who was dragging him in is now blocking that entrance. So at that point, I run around to the back. I pop the back gate open, and I jump in the back. The car lurches forward. Apparently somebody jumped in the car. So the car lurches forward. So I almost fall out of the car, the SUV. Then I grab the thing and close it. And there's 5 of us in the car now. Justin's driving. Dan is up front with the GPS. Rick has got him. Rick's on my left. And Brian is there. And I'm coming over the back seat. And Charlie's laid out in front, just right in front of me. And Charlie's so tall, we can't close the door. We drove 4 miles, I don't know, it's 4 something miles, all the way to the hospital with the door open. To this day, I don't know how Brian stayed in the car, because we're just go. We're trying to stop the bleeding. You saw it. And I'm yelling, come on, Charlie, come on. Meanwhile, my phone is still on. My son and daughter-in-law are hearing this whole thing. And his security team, again, Justin, Dan, Brian, and Rick, they love Charlie. But they're much cooler than I mean, they're just carrying out, they're calmly, but they're swiftly doing exactly what they were trained to do. Rick starts praying out loud. I'm praying out loud. We're yelling, come on, let's go. My son's hearing all this. And we're doing the best we can to navigate traffic. This is not a highway. We're on surface streets. And suddenly there's an ambulance coming toward us. And there was conversation in the car. Should we stop? We're like, no, just keep going. The doctor later said that was the right thing to do. Ambulance goes by us. We're still heading to the hospital, trying to get there.
Yeah, I think it makes no sense to try and transfer him over to an ambulance at that point. I mean, I guess if you're like 20 miles from a hospital and they can do life-saving procedures on him in the car, then yeah. But if you're within 5 to 10 minutes of the hospital, I would think that it makes more sense just get him to the hospital.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and somebody had made a chat earlier about not having paramedics on site. If he was 4 miles from the hospital, they probably weighed that caution. Hey, Katie. And said that, we could, if something happens, we can get somebody there pretty quickly. An ambulance can be here in, mere moments. So,
right.
Yeah, man, with the shot that Charlie took, you're not going to be able to stop it and transfer him and get any more help than just going to the hospital. So,
right.
Yeah. Right. They made the right choice.
At one point, somebody says, let's get there in one piece because we're cutting through intersections. We're just beeping the horn. This is not a emergency vehicle. There's no lights. There's none of this. And I go, we got to start CPR. So I try and start that. Now, Charlie wasn't there. His eyes were fixed. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking past me right into eternity. He was with Jesus already. He was killed instantly and felt absolutely no pain. That's what I was told later. But of course, we had to try. And by the way, there was just nothing any of us could do about it. We were giving him CPR, but nothing was happening.
When I saw the quantity of blood that was coming out of him, I was like, I don't even know if he was alive when to hear his own mic hit the floor. Like that's how bad, how much blood was gushing out of his neck. I was like, I don't see how they can save him from that.
It was a 1 in a million shot. He was gone that moment.
I mean,
Nothing more,
maybe
nothing less.
he may have been alive for another like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that amount of blood, when you see it, it is
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do at all at that moment. So yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like if we had better first aid or we had better medical facilities or we were faster to the hospital, we could have saved him. We couldn't.
Yeah.
So if that's any comfort at all, Charlie didn't suffer. He was gone.
I think that's probably mostly that is a comfort, because when there's a bungling that happens afterwards, it makes it so much more frustrating as to like the waste. And so I'm glad to hear. I was glad to hear him say that like, look, it's not just what it looks like on TV, but he really was unsalvageable from the moment that bullet ripped through his neck.
Yeah, you have a lot of people playing the what if game, and at that moment, it just there's nothing you can do about that, So
yeah.
He was with Jesus, absent from the body, present with the Lord. That's where he was. Now, it is true, when we got to the hospital and they started working on him right away, they did get a pulse back. And so Rick and I were everyone's praying. We're just praying for a miracle. We had a small sliver of hope. And the doctor later said that we got a pulse because Charlie was a very healthy man, but the shot was catastrophic. So 20 or 30 minutes later, the surgeon came out and said he was dead. Now,
so I'm guessing from what he's saying here that he could be unconscious and still they can generate a pulse. I'm not sure why him being healthier makes it more likely for him to have a pulse. I don't know if you understand what that meant, but that's not him being obviously awake or alert or having any knowledge as to what's happening, but that just blood flow.
Yeah, we don't know how strong the pulse was. So a pulse is a pulse, but him being healthier would just be his heart being able to take the catastrophic event and try to get back to work. So
right, I guess so.
First of all, the hospital staff and the law enforcement were amazing. But let me tell you who the heroes were in this whole thing. We're going to start with 23-year-old Mikey McCoy, who is Charlie's chief of staff and the son of Pastor Rob McCoy and his wife, Michelle. Charlie considered Rob his pastor, and Charlie hired Mikey, I don't know, almost right out of high school. And Mikey, demonstrating the wisdom and coolness well beyond his years, just like Charlie did, immediately contacted Erica and sent a plane to get her and some other friends and co-workers. He called the president, the vice president of the United States. He quizzed the doctors, asked them hard questions. He dealt with the police, the FBI. We're all being interviewed by the FBI. He scheduled the funeral home. And a couple hours later, transportation, hotels, Air Force Two. Mikey McCoy is an absolute hero.
I'll tell you that he referenced the funeral. The funeral, as I understand, is supposed to take place in Arizona on Sunday at 11 a.m. local time. So those of you who are in the area or those of you who might consider attending, I'm sure there'll be many thousands of people there. But so those of you who might be interested in it in attending and can make yourself and can find a way to get over there. So it's going to be, I don't have the exact location in Arizona. I saw it earlier, but I don't remember what it was. And I don't want to mislead anyone, but it is supposed to be Sunday morning.
And keep in mind, he's doing all this after his best friend and boss was just martyred before his eyes. This is the kind of people that Charlie hired. TPUSA. Look, I was in the Navy for 8 years. I know good quality people when I see them. They have people who I would put up against anyone. they're tremendous servants, tremendously capable people. Let me just name a few of them who are involved in all this. Catherine LaCastro came up with Erica. Man, amazing woman, young, I don't know, in her 20s somewhere, but she was helping Mikey organize everything. Andrew Colvett, many of you know Andrew, he is the producer of the Charlie Kirk show. He wasn't there, but he got there quickly with his wife. Amazing.
So I just want to address this super chat. Lazy L says, why release the stories about him being stabilized? Also, joined late. Hope you address what Candace has been saying. I'm not sure what to think of that. Oh, well.
Yeah, I kept seeing that in the chat. People are saying that she's disgusting. Unfollowed her a long time ago, things like that. So
yeah, I've I've been having a running joke on here. And thank you for the chat. So to answer your question about whether I plan on addressing Candace, I think that ties in to what tonight's goal is, which is claims about a fight about Bill Ackman. So I'm going to try and make some time for that after the show. Well, during the show, I'll extend the show in order to have some time to address that, assuming we reach our goal, which I think we probably will reach. But our goal is 15 yellow super chats. Also, Uzelian sent a rant earlier, which said, Joe, if you want to see how bad things are, check out this clip from Nick today. It's funny AF. This clip from Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's on topic for what he's at. It's likely on. I'm assuming this is on topic for what the last super chat was about. So I'll just play this real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I have no volume.
Time to wake up, guys. Some of this, I'll be the first one to say, the conspiratard schizo thing, it's getting a little out of control.
Wow.
Wow. Oh,
wow.
No. Oh, no.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's like just when you think you know someone. Nick, I don't know. Who are you? Who
I
are
have
you,
no
Nick
clue.
Fuentes?
King Groiper right here. King of Fed posting, literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear more.
And that's coming from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought.
Look at that expression.
We both said wow at the same time because I've known Nick Fuentes a long time. This guy is the king of Fed posting, man.
Yes.
I mean, it's like we are truly through the looking glass. When Charlie Kirk is assassinated, people blame Israel. I, who fought Charlie Kirk because he was pro-Israel, am being said to I'm being said to be covering up that he was killed for this miraculous conversion. If Ben Shapiro was taken out next, and God forbid, would Israel be behind that too? I mean, that would be equally ridiculous. If it was Ben Shapiro on Wednesday, people would be saying, Israel did it. Shapiro was about to become a national socialist. Like, what?
Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Okay. I'm impressed. So one of the things with the Groiper Wars, if anybody remembers that in the long ago, against, it was the Groipers, Nick Fuentes' group versus TPUSA. They were challenging Charlie on homosexuality and how that brings the conservative movement forward by promoting that, and also the Israel topic. So those guys would go to Charlie's events and ask these questions. And in my opinion, they had a lot of salient points, right? They were nailing a lot of good points. They weren't spurging or doing anything crazy. And to hear Nick Fuentes say that is, I am astonished. I am baffled. Right? I'm speechless.
Yeah, I am speechless. So we're gonna hear if we hit today's goal, which we're, like I said, we're well on our way to making today's list. So we're well on our way. What do we have right now? Well, okay, we're almost a third of the way there towards the goal. So we'll break it down and we'll get to hear from Cynic as to what levels of Groiper he has. So
it's gonna be fun if we get there. I know that.
Yeah.
What they're going to say, right? You're going to hear a lot of people start knowing that Nick Fuentes.
What are you
You want it-
ruining?
All right, I'll ease off. Hey, whoa! I was just giving
what's
a preamble.
happening?
I was giving a sample,
You
right?
rookie.
Imagine you're at Costco,
You rookie.
right? And you're getting a little taste. That's all.
I think we got it.
That was it.
All right, yeah, show me what you got here. Show me what you got.
No, what a lot of people are going to start saying is that the Das Juden got to Nick Fuentes finally. That's what you're going to hear. That's exactly what you're going to hear. Mark my words.
You think so?
You're going to have a lot of groypers probably saying that. We'll see.
All right. Well, I don't think we're going to take back anything I said about Nick Fuentes. So I don't plan on taking that back anytime.
Well, you don't have to. Why would you? Just because he has a change of heart? We'll get to it. We'll discuss it.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to end up getting there. You just got to hit that goal.
Man, and you can see what he's doing on the Charlie Kirk show right now. Danny Phillip, a newly hired researcher. Let me just show you what kind of attention to detail these people have. Let me just say that when the three of us in the back of the SUV got to the hospital, we had to change our clothes. And so they all gave us scrubs. So when we all get to a hotel later that night in Salt Lake City, Mikey looks at me and he says, I'm going to go get you some new clothes. Like, why, Mikey? I can wear these scrubs. No, you want new clothes for tomorrow. Air Force 2's coming. You don't have to wear scrubs. I'll go. So he delegated to Danny to go buy me clothes. Can you imagine this level of detail? Their boss has just died. Their friend has just died, martyred. And they're worried about whether I'm in scrubs or not. In fact, this is kind of funny. We're down in the hotel lobby. Again, this is the same day as the murder. And by that time, Mr. and Mrs. Kirk, Charlie's parents and sister, had gotten there, and Mr. Kirk wasn't feeling well. And somebody looks at me and says, "Are you a doctor?" And I looked at him, I go, "No." And I'm thinking, why would anybody ask me if I'm a doctor? I'm wearing scrubs. I didn't even realize it. I'm not the kind of doctor that can help you anyway. But anyway, Danny Phillip was a great help and still is a great help at TPUSA. Tyler Boyer, many guys know Tyler. He runs TPUSA Action. And with Charlie's help, Tyler, I think, secured the White House for President Trump because they know how to chase votes. Robin Poe was a friend and a consultant. He was there. Jeff Neiman, the attorney, was there. These are just wonderful people who came and dropped whatever they were doing. Robin from Dallas, Jeff from Miami. He actually was in San Antonio and came up. Brian, his cousin, who actually orchestrated the whole trip. These were all just amazing people. And the security guys, Dan, Justin, Brian, Rick, Blake, and another Blake, every one of them would take that bullet for Charlie. They just didn't have an opportunity to. And then when Erica got there, she spent a lot of time talking to she probably got there, I don't know, somewhere around 4 p.m. maybe. And she spent a lot of time, as you could imagine, talking to the surgeon and talking to the hospital staff and seeing Charlie. And the rest of us were just waiting to see if we could be of any assistance at all. Meanwhile, the car that we came in had been considered a crime scene for whatever reason. I don't know why. Had nothing to do with the crime, but we couldn't get anything out of it. So I couldn't get my wallet out, couldn't get my bag out, couldn't get my computer out. Charlie was.
I think that's because maybe there's evidence that could come from his body, Charlie's body or clothing, that they wouldn't want to risk, losing. So
yeah, that's exactly it. You nailed it.
Yeah, that's probably what's happening there. KC Cat says ABC announced a Jimmy Kimmel slot on Friday will be filled with a Charlie tribute. Thoughts? Big love from Kansas City. Thank you, Casey Cat. Yeah, I think that's very fitting. I'm going to be talking about, that is something that I will be covering on this show. That is the hiatus that Jimmy Kimmel was put on. And we'll share that joke that he made and thoughts about what exactly, it, and I'm going to get feedback from Cynic as well as you guys as to whether or not, that's appropriate. And that's it, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, or we'll try and break that down. So, but once he's off the air, I think filling that slot with a Charlie tribute is pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree with you.
Agreed.
Steven, thank you so much for your super chat, as well as Brian Oldenkamp, as they're pushing us toward reaching tonight's goal. Candace was on fire yesterday, caught part of her show. It was cray cray. That's life with Candace. And Lazy L says, I'm kind of disturbed by this fracture about Israel. You and me both. I'm staring side eye at all my favorites because of things they're saying, and I think Charlie was starting to question things, but I don't see a conspiracy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with questioning. You should be questioning.
Yeah,
you should be. I'm a big proponent that people should be questioning whoever they're listening to. I tell you, my audience, don't take what I say. Don't just trust my word as being some sort of gospel or something like that. No, if you disagree with me, so think through why you disagree with me. You can, and it's very possible I can be mistaken or wrong in my perspective or something, or have a different take. I would expect that everyone who listens to me long enough would find some things they disagree with me on, and that's part of being a healthy, thinking, mature adult. Is that you go through that process, and Charlie certainly was a healthy thinking adult who would engage in critical analysis. So there's nothing wrong with him questioning, assessing, does Israel have too much influence on the United States? It's a reasonable question to ask. I think that's
a question. It's a very reasonable question. If any foreign government has any ties with us, we should be paying attention to it. So I think that's a very good way of thinking. And unlike Joe, everything I say is correct. So you don't have to critique anything I say.
Clearly. But I don't think you should. I don't think you should give blind. I don't think anyone should be giving blind allegiance to anyone.
No, agreed.
Other than God. So there you go. Don't be giving
trust
your blind
but verify. I think is what they say.
Right. Exactly. Trust but verify, and ask yourself if there are leaps being taken in logic when people are trying to, convince you of something that sounds foreign.
Exactly.
Like, how do why would I come to this conclusion? That this makes any sense, or the conclusions you're taking from this clip of a video you're watching is actually something that really even indicates what you're saying, much less comes to the three jumps you take from that launching point.
Yeah.
So
pay attention to the talking heads, right? When they don't want to give you receipts and just give you opinions, right?
Yeah.
So,
and the other thing that I say is you sort of have to try and figure out, and I'll come back to this. We'll come back to this in a moment. The other thing I try and advise is you sort of want to try and assess whether someone seems to have an agenda that they continually look through everything through the same lens.
Yes. 100%.
Because if you think about it, right? Anytime a black man got shot by anyone who's got slightly paler skin than him, the people, you'll have some people on the left who come out there talking about what a terrible tragedy it is and how this is obviously a sign of racism, and they view everything through that lens of racism.
Exactly.
So that's an area I'm just like, I can't trust you because on this particular issue, because I see when you're pitching this, because you're such a fixation for you. There are people I like who I think are very smart people. Here's a great example, which might shock you. I think Dave Chappelle is brilliant, and he's sometimes political. But I think when he starts talking about race, I think he gets a little lost, and becomes personal. So I distrust him when he's talking about issues related to race.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for that. It takes, when it's something that you feel like is affecting you personally, you're more likely to have a clouded view on it. So when it comes to him talking about that, I'm just like, oh, okay, here he is. He's going on his race, thing.
Well, when you start noticing patterns, you can start being biased. You always have to. I was having this discussion in my Discord earlier about some of the topics that we were discussing, and I said you can have this like emotional response or this moral response, however you want to look at it. But when you're looking at things in the world, you need to start thinking more binary, right? You need to start thinking in black and white and or in binary ones and zeros, and be critical on what's going to happen or what is going on, and try to remove all bias.
Right. So, and sometimes we'll have our own blind spots, and you need to try to identify if you have your own blind spot that you're sort of, get clouded on a particular issue, and then maybe your clarity isn't so great in this particular zone. So that's why when someone comes out there and they're basically like, I can't believe Joe Burrow looks like he's out from the season because of his toe. Obviously, Bibi Netanyahu ordered a hit on him. You're just like, you're just like, really? You don't think they go for Josh Allen? Come on, they go for Bibi. And they go for Burrow. Like, why would they do that? So yeah, so that's why when it comes to people like Candace Owens, it's like, yeah, she's displayed that she's so bent out of shape ever since she had her split from Ben Shapiro.
Well, you got to look at what happened, right? She has this bias because a Jewish man hurt her, right? Yeah. And that's the way she views it. And so she's got that veil pulled down over her eyes. And that's the problem I see with Candace is you hear her say a lot of things that seem factual and seem correct. Like I said before, I've never seen her pull up a receipt on something. I've never seen it. It's just her talking. And I'm one of those type of people that go, well, show me the receipts for these facts. Otherwise, it's just opinion.
Yeah. So, and she also takes certain leaps of logic, but it wasn't simply. It's not simply her who's making this claim, and I think we are probably going to reach our goal tonight, which means I'm going to have to do some research here online with you guys well during the show, so I can get enough links to share with you, and so I can do my best to give you receipts on this, because it does seem as if we're well on our way. We have 11 out of 15, and we're not even an hour into the show. So
what was it? The old Fox news adage: "We report, you decide." So they would report on it. They would show you the facts, and then they wouldn't give you their opinion on it. So I think we need to get back to some of that a little bit more on some of these things.
Yeah, Laziel says, I think Candace is full of Jew hate. Haven't followed her in years. T-Rex said, absolutely no hate in my heart for any individual Jewish person or Jewish people as a whole. I do, however, have some criticisms of the Israeli government. I have criticisms of our own government as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's
you
nothing
can have
wrong
criticism
with that.
of Jewish people if you need to, if it's necessary. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to make sure that you're doing it logically and not, just for a bias.
My biggest hot take on this particular issue is I have a lot of problems with the Israeli government. Like a lot of problems with them. My biggest hot take is that I like Bibi a lot more than I like the Israeli government. I know a lot of people take the exact opposite approach. So, like,
they're gonna repo your little satchel of Jew gold for saying that. Watch out.
I have no that. I'm saying they'll be like, a lot of people are like, I got no problem with Zionism, but Bibi has got to go. I'm like, no, Bibi's the best thing. Bibi's the best thing about that government. So I have the exact opposite take. I'm almost anti-Zionist in that perspective.
Yeah, I get you, man.
Because even like the biggest hardcore Zionists are like, yeah, Bibi's a problem. But I'm like, no, he's really the best thing about the whole government. But anyway. I don't question, dear leader. Okay, look. Okay.
Hey, man.
I guess you don't have to, but I am suggesting you do it. I read the Bible chapter 12:6. When Kimmel gets fired, Nick says something sane, and Dems get exposed. I will be in the sky. I read the Bible chapter. Nick says something sane. Dems get exposed. I'll be in the sky. Buckle up. That was pretty funny. Anyone who says that because I have critiques of Israeli government, I'm anti-Semitic, I assume it's coming from a place of bad faith. You should, because it's kind of retarded to to have that take. Candace also cut ties with Dennis Prager. Why do you think that is? Does Larry Elder still associate with her? I really think Ben Shapiro broke her. I think I think he broke her. I don't know what happened behind the scenes there. I think he broke her, and she has like, it's like she doesn't even try to mask it. You know, early on after October 7th, a lot of people were just like, no problem with Jews. I just hate it. I'm just anti-Zionist. I'm just anti-Zionist. And then over the last 6 months or so, it's just like, no, it's really the Jews. Like people had like that mask, for a lot of folks like Jake Shields. It's just like, no, it's really the Jews. You know, it's like that's the real problem here. And it was always signs of it slipping. But look, I don't take it personally. I'm not a big fan of Jake Shields myself. I'm like, okay, look, there's always, I'm a big believer that there is always going to be an undercurrent of anti-Semitism, and that's the way God wants the world to run. So
yeah, it's been there since the beginning of time, right? I mean, that's what the Bible says, that
anti-Semitism predates Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, by 1,000 years.
Wait, hold on. Are you trying to say? Wait. If that's what God wants in the world, are you saying anti-Semites are doing the Lord's work?
I would say, I always wonder. I've said this a few times. And I always wondered if someone was going to ask me that stupid question. But yeah, so I'll ask you this: Are you a religious Christian?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so do you think it was God's will for Charlie Kirk to die, or that it was against his will?
No, it was obviously his will.
Oh, so was Tyler Robinson doing God's will?
And yes, I hate to say it, but yes.
You think Tyler Robinson was doing God's will?
Yes.
So if someone does a terrible sin, any terrible sin, against the word of God, are they doing God's will?
Geez, you got me kind of backed into a corner. I do believe that Charlie's time was up, right? And that's how God willed it. And the actor that did it may not been acting because or with God's will, right, in his heart, but it is that's how God ordained it, I will say. He put that tool there in order for to cause something larger to happen, or to have something else happen, right? He's so big that we can't understand everything that he's doing. So yeah, I hate it. I hate to see it, but Charlie Kirk's death is God's will at the end of the day.
Will Tyler Robinson go to hell for killing Charlie Kirk?
And if he repents and believes in God.
If he doesn't repent, he was doing God's will. Why would he go to hell?
I'm sorry, that doesn't matter.
Well, I don't understand. If he's doing God's will, why is that different from someone?
He was a tool of God, but not doing it through the faith of God.
We'll come back to that in a second, but I just want to clarify here. If he's doing if you believe he's doing God's will, so then why can you not ask that? Much as someone who's feeding the orphans is doing God's will, and I'm sure, then they're pure of heart, and you say that they're going to heaven. Why would someone, Tyler Robinson, were to, God forbid, get killed tomorrow before he has a chance to repent, okay, or slip and fall and break his neck, okay, and he hasn't had a chance to repent? So why is it that his actions that he took last week are not considered doing God's will, which should earn him a spot in heaven?
That doesn't mean you earn a spot in heaven, because me being a Baptist, first of all, you have to believe in Jesus Christ in order to get to heaven, right? So if he didn't believe in Jesus Christ, just because he was a tool of God's doesn't mean that he had faith in God. So if you don't have that, then you go to hell. Sorry.
Okay. No, I understand your perspective, and certainly encourage you to stay true to your faith. My question is, so if he does believe in Jesus and goes around blinding orphan kids, so he goes to heaven or he doesn't go to heaven?
That's a big one. That's going to get me in a lot of trouble being a Baptist, because we believe in once saved, always saved. So once you're saved, yeah, you can backslide and things like that. But as long as you don't harden your heart against God and turn fully away from your faith, these bad things are already forgiven. You're washed in the blood of the Lamb, as we say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that explains the what we see. What I've seen in every mafia movie I've ever seen, where they're just giving tons of money to the church and.
Well, those are
at the same
Catholics, so
time-
you have to talk to somebody like a sleeping psychopathy in the chat. I know
enough.
nothing about Catholicism.
Fair
so,
enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
you can come into my Discord. I have gathered an entire Discord of Catholics, but me and one other guy. So you can come in there and pick their brains about that anytime you would like.
But I'm saying, to the extent that they would be consistent with Baptists. So when you're looking at people in the mafia acting that way, assuming those movies accurately portray traditional mafia, so you think that they would go to heaven
if they're saved, yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting perspective.
But see, we also believe that you're not going to do that unless you have, some sort of demon or something like that, some crazy thing going on, because you become a changed person once you are saved. And it's
why would any human so I have so many questions. I'm sorry.
Feel free.
I'm sorry.
Have you never met a Baptist?
I don't know if I've had a religious conversation with Baptists.
Okay.
So
no. I'm not. Baptists don't do the snake thing sleeping. That's not us at all.
Yeah, I apologize to the chat. I don't think they expect me to have a whole religious conversation with.
Oh no, I'm fine. I went to a
I don't care if you're fine with it. I care about my chat being like, what the heck is going on here? All of a sudden we have this whole. But I guess when we're talking Charlie Kirk, having a religion talk is a talk about Christianity, and is I guess appropriate.
Yeah. You probably should discuss that.
So in that case, from your perspective, the Bible does nothing to try and encourage people to actually behave in ways that are moral, so long as they ultimately accept Jesus.
Yes, and I hate to say it so flippantly like that, because it's not. You still should strive every day to be as close to Jesus as possible, as much like him as possible, right? And you still have to live by the tenets of God. It's just that if you've been saved and you were truly saved and repented, then you're washing the blood of the Lamb. So,
right, okay, all right. So that this is, to me, it's a very interesting take, because one of the things that I Judaism looks at from Torah perspective, that the Torah is supposed to be a moral guideline for how to have a happy and healthy life here. Yes. And also there is no magic button, and not to be glib about the whole accepting Jesus thing, but to the extent people might look at that as a magic button, that is a get out of hell free card, that there's no equivalent to that in Torah at all.
Yeah, no, it's not a get out of jail free card, right? It's not like you say, I believe in Jesus and I'm done. You have to truly believe it in your heart. And that's something that I can't explain, because when you're called to be saved, it's something that is uncontrollable. When I was saved at like 13 years old, it's something that truly draws at your soul. And you at that point, I know for a fact that I was a changed young man, because I didn't want to do the same things that I was doing. And in my 20s, I backslid and I rededicated myself later. And I noticed that the Bible, to me, this is the way I explain it to my friends that are, atheists or faithless. If you just follow the basic rules, it's just like what you said. The goal is for you to live a happy, healthy life. It's simple as that. And they go, well, what do I got to do? I was like, the basic tenet of it is love your neighbor as you love God. And if you love your neighbor as you love God, you're not going to rob from him. You're not going to steal from him. You're not going to, take a shot at him. Right.
Right.
And that's the tenet that you wake up and you live by every day. So,
right.
Yeah, it's not just you don't just say the magic words and you're out of it. So
you're saying it has to be a belief in your heart.
Exactly.
Well, we did reach our goal.
All right.
So we are gonna be extending the show to cover that element of it. But first, I want to catch up on some of the super chats, and And I'm blaming Wellesley for, if anyone's upset that we had that whole conversation, blame Wellesley for who got us on the whole biblical talk, even though it wasn't his question that I had up there. Liz saying, here, I want more Joe. Well, you're going to have more Joe because we're going to be talking about that whole Bill Ackman thing. So welcome. It's good to see you, Liz. Century Bro, who was pushing us with back-to-back. See, this is one, and then this was gone, and then this one was there. Pushing us. God bless you, Century Bro. Yeah, it is. It's in the cult handbook, Joe. I guess so. Candace says IDS, Israel derangement syndrome. Anything that goes wrong in life or in the news connected to Israel makes people take her less seriously. I agree with you on that. I think that she's taken a lot. I used to take her seriously, and I can't any longer. It's fun to pick on different cultures, but I don't hate them. I just heavily dislike government. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I've had conversations with Cynic here about like, well, you're talking about pick on different cultures. I'm not sure if you mean it in the way that, like, I was having conversations with Cynic off the air about the difference between someone punching you and someone who gives you a verbal punch in the arm versus a verbal punch in the face, and how very different that is. And that even though it's just words, you usually can tell without much of a question as to whether they were trying to punch you in the face or in the arm. And punching in the arm is something that guys do that's considered actually an act of friendship, that without it, it's an indicia that they're not friends, as opposed to a punch in the face, which is obviously a hostile act. So, yeah. Charlie will just get bigger, but it makes me sad to think God had something to do with it. Right. I mean, when the Jewish perspective on this is actually that Tyler had free will. Charlie did not have to die, and that Tyler did cause his death, and that free will of Tyler and his going in that direction ultimately was his free will. But at the same time, the choice that he made ultimately was the best thing for every person that it affected. You might not feel that way. You might feel painful. But that pain is ultimately that God's justice ultimately, and that people end up meting out God's justice without intending to, but that he does have free will. And that doesn't mean that Charlie would have died had Tyler not shot that bullet. So it's a little bit of a complex thing to try to wrap your head around.
It's a very huge theological conversation if you delve into it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it's yeah. This conversation, believing as I do that Charlie is now in heaven, is why I think Erica was able to give that speech. She truly believes Charlie, it was his time, mission was complete, and now he gets to rest. Well, I'll tell you this much. The sad thing that T-Rex is touching on is the reality of humans is Charlie is infinitely more revered now that he's dead than he was a week and a half ago. Infinitely more revered. Where people, now he's referred to as civil rights leader Charlie Kirk. No one was calling him that a week ago. It's like you sort of now have a chance to reflect on his life, and you're like, he was a civil rights leader. He's trying to champion First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, actual justice. Like, he was a civil rights leader. The high esteem and people learning of his name who never heard of him before, people who don't care about politics, people who try to actually stay away from politics, but now everyone knows him, and most of whom are taking a positive reflection. I know there's some crazies on the left, most of them taking a positive reflection. The enormous growth of his organization, Turning Point USA, as a result of him being murdered. All of these things spurring on as a result of what Tyler Robinson did to Charlie Kirk last week. All of these things have cemented his legacy in ways that could not have happened if Charlie doesn't take that bullet. It doesn't even happen if Charlie takes that bullet and lives. It's because it's through his death, through his martyrdom, that he actually has arguably almost like an impact that lasts, an impact on this country that has potential to last centuries rather than several years. Because much like Martin Luther King is revered today, in part because, which I think in ways he would not have been revered if he wasn't murdered. The same is true of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's definitely parallel, 100%.
Yeah. God allows free will, therefore evil can happen, but God only wills good, not evil. This is the conflict of good and evil. That's deep too.
But look at the good that, and I hate to say it like this because I'm not trying to be flippant, but look at the good that is going come from this. Look at the people that it's going to activate. Saw a video before I came on here where they were talking about the lines at church now. People leftists saying, I've never been to church, and after seeing what happened to Charlie, I'm now going to church.
Right. Yeah, that was in the Glenn Beck video.
It was a beautiful. Yeah, it was a like a bittersweet thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know.
And I think society finding religion. My perspective is, I think that society would be a much healthier place if more and more individuals found religion, and that Christians should find Christianity, Muslims should find a healthy form of Islam, Jews should find Judaism. Like finding God is a positive thing, and
yes,
and I think that they end up being healthier societies, healthier individuals, happier people, and and to the extent it has that impact, I think that is a huge blessing for society. So
yeah.
The other, there's a lot of ways you can see like the silver lining in this. I mean, all the antipathy people have for the left and the crazies on the left who are gleefully cheering it, which has basically chased so many of the non-sickos away from the party. There's a lot of, it's very easy to see a lot of the silver line that come out of this. It doesn't make, and which I guess makes it less painful, but still it's a bittersweet. It's like a bittersweet.
Yeah, it's very bittersweet. Yeah.
Yeah. AI overview. Torah is an ancient religious text and is not involved in modern digital platforms like Locals, which is where super chats exist. There's no connection between Jewish Torah checking and super chats. I think that's a reference to the fact that he shared with me in Locals. Totally off topic, Cynic. It's a Gundam as Heel V's versus Babyface, Eric July, Rippaverse. Thoughts?
Oh man, who was it? It's a Gundam. I think he's a good commentator. He's pretty based and stays in his lane pretty well. The next one was what? As Heel versus Babyface.
Yeah.
Total grifter, 100% grifter. We'll just tell you whatever media you're watching is woke for the sake of getting super chats. The guy is such a grifter that he doesn't read all of his super chats and does a extra show to read his super chats to get more super chats. Yeah.
Please tell me he's not Jewish. Please tell me he's not.
And then was the last one Rippaverse? Oh.
No, he had Eric July first and then Rippaverse.
Eric July, also grifter. If you pay attention to this man, he has ridden every wave. So it was dancing, rapping, doing these like black guy hardcore music videos on YouTube. And then he finally hit the grift with being the token black guy saying the right things in conservative politics. But he never committed and was always being a lolbatarian instead of just biting the bullet and being a true conservative. And then Rippaverse is just a terrible comic book company. It makes a lot of money, but if you look at the art in it and pay attention to it, it is just lazy work. There is no story there, and it's a waste of money. Don't go buy it. When the imprint launches all of our books, come buy ours. There we go.
There you go. That reminds me, you need to share with me whatever links you want me to throw in the description. Over on Rumble, Dr. Pat sometimes says Tyler was commanded not to kill, but had agency to disobey. Concede that God ordained that Charlie's time on earth was over, yet he could have accomplished it elsewise. It doesn't forgive the assassin. I've heard that theory as well. That
yes.
I think what he's expressing is that he would have died, but Tyler didn't have to be the one to pull the trigger. And I think a lot of people take that perspective. I personally don't, but I understand that perspective. That's a very that's a very faith-based perspective that people that we humans who trust our senses probably far more than we should, our 5 senses plus logic, logic and memory, and we probably struggle with that. So that's a very big test. Ozelian says, all I know, Joe, is the IDF is filled with a ton of very attractive ladies. Mandatory service does have benefits. So there you go. Allegan says, we also have the devil to blame for bad things that happen in the world. There's a constant battle between good and evil. God gave world free will that can do both good and evil. So I don't think that's consistent with, is that consistent with what Baptists believe?
It's complicated. You have free will to choose God, but you can still be used as an instrument of God, right? To fulfill something. Right, wrong, and indifferent. So,
but is that the only area you have free will as to whether or not to choose God?
No, I mean, you got free will in everything, you know what I mean? But like I said, if God calls you to be used as a tool for his purpose, you don't really have any free will on that. It's not that, you know, he ordained for Charlie's work to be done, is the way I would say it, right? And he ordained for something bigger, and he had to choose a tool. And if it wasn't Tyler, it would have been somebody else. So.
All right. The Ben says God is the only one that will judge, except that the people that have breakfast for dinner. I will judge them.
That man is a monster. Have breakfast for dinner, people. It's a great time.
I'm a Baptist, but we believe in God's vengeance is mine. We don't do confessions like Catholics do. Oh, okay.
I mean, we go to the altar and we confess, you know, at the altar. But yeah, we don't go talk to a priest about it. It's us and God. There's no middleman.
She also, Lazy L also says, no Baptist with Jesus in their heart would shoot someone. So sorry. I think this Mormon is cooked. Allegan says, when he blasphemes, the Holy Spirit is now in my Pentecostal faith. You can lose your salvation. Okay. He's a Calvinist. Please don't think most Christians believe this. Evil took Charlie out. End of story. I think. Are you a Calvinist?
No, not at all. No, that's twice this week. My faith's been questioned to be Calvinist. It's no, I'm not I am not a Calvinist whatsoever. Sorry.
All right. All right. Candace IDS makes me take woke right more seriously and need to separate ourselves from them. Oh, I agree with you on that. This is why I mock the woke right, because I think that they're trying to swell into being a danger, and the best way to keep them from swelling is mockery. Greg says, have you ever read Hebrew chapter 11 from the New Testament? No, I have not. I don't know if you have. I'm not sure if that question's for you.
Yeah, I can't quote it off the top of my head.
But I've never read the New Testament.
You should. I mean, I get it, right? But you should. I think you would find some very interesting things in there. Oh, come on. I read the Torah.
That's not at all the same thing.
What are you talking about?
It's not all the same thing in the sense that first and foremost,
is it against Judaism to read the New Testament?
Arguably.
Okay, I get that then. I didn't know that.
Arguably.
Yeah. Okay.
Arguably. It's I don't know that it is, but yeah. I have enough concerns that it is that I'm just like I don't need to do that. I can have conversations.
You just don't want to chance it.
I can have conversations with folks like you, and get what I need from that. So
I'm LD. That's fine. I'm not going to judge you on that.
No, and I get intrigued when I hear conversations like this because I have conversations like this because it helps me better understand where people are coming from and like how they interpret and understand the world. So we can see where we're likely to agree or disagree and how we come to that and have a better understanding from where each other is coming from. So
yeah,
I'm LDS and I've stood where Charlie was shot. What do you know what LDS means in this context?
Yeah, he's talking about the Latter-day.
Oh, okay. Mormons in Utah are often different because it's the dominant culture there. So many members are just in it for a while for social perks. That's Latter-day Saints. Okay. This is why I need a Baptist on here to interpret things like that for me. Galatians 3:1. Oh, my dear idiot Galatians, I do wonder what would be written about America in the Bible, and I fear the letter we would receive would begin something like that. I don't even know what the word Galatians means. So
it's a book in the New Testament. Yeah.
Right. But is it a reference to a certain
I don't know what the actual meaning is anymore. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I forget. It's been so long since I done like
you're my theological source on baptism and on Baptists and you don't know. You don't know. What am I talking to you? Why?
Well, I mean, look, man, I can only have so much in my brain. All right, I can only store so much in this computer. All right,
yes, so much. I'm gonna go a little. Should we go a little? Should probably move on to the next topic. I think I got everything I was looking for because I really wanted to hear from Frank Turek. That was the person we're listening to. I really wanted to hear what happened when everything after he was shot, and wanted to share with you guys. But we can move on to the next Charlie Kirk related topic, which is ultimately about Mr. Jimmy Kimmel. Did you hear what happened with Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, I saw that. I watched the video, and people might, roast me for this. It didn't seem as egregious as everybody was making it out to be. It's egregious. It's not. It's not good. But
we'll let people.
I didn't
weigh in.
clutch my pearls. You know what I mean? As much as I felt like I would the way people were tweeting about it, I would say.
Or the way you do when you see certain commercials. So.
Yeah. What are you doing? I have no. Oh man.
If you get it, you get it. Okay, so this is what Jimmy Kimmel did that landed him in hot water.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving on Friday.
So that was really the key thing. Season MAGA is trying to point, and that's really the key moment, because the rest he's mocking or trying to mock Trump. And his mockery is that he plays a video, which I don't think is at all. I don't see what the joke is, but.
Well, the joke was that he wasn't mournful when he was asked about Charlie. Instead, he started talking about
construction.
Construction,
right? Because he was being asked what else is going on, so he started talking about that. It was the stupidest thing. But yeah, anyway, I'll play.
I also don't want to see my president crying. I'm sorry, but I really don't want to see that man cry. Even though Charlie was supposedly a good friend of his, I don't want to see my president crying.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah,
and I get it. He's supposed to be staying strong. He's supposed to be the lion.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's hear this one more time.
New lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. And so
that's it. That the MAGA is trying to as anything other than one of them, and clearly taking it as a given that obviously he's MAGA. That's what he's been. That's what he's essentially saying. That's what he's starting the premise. That look, obviously he's MAGA, so but they're desperately trying to spin it not that, which was such a retarded take that I think it felt like it was trying to jab, and some people want to take it as if he was trying to say, almost like, because obviously Charlie is MAGA, as if Charlie, Charlie is a victim of his own creation.
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein scenario, right?
Yeah, where it's you created this monster, and now he ended up killing you, and that's and that's a pretty gross comment, especially without any basis. And my question is, what are you? So the what came out of this? This is the outgrowth of it. ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel live indefinitely after offensive Charlie Kirk comments. Jimmy Kimmel is taking an involuntary hiatus. ABC said it's pulling the comedian late night talk show off the air indefinitely following his controversial comments about the killing of Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely, an ABC spokesperson confirmed to the Post Wednesday. And Kimmel 57 faced backlash after he said Monday night that MAGA gang was trying to score political points off Kirk's murder after the conservative activist was shot dead on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA crowd trying to characterize this kid who killed Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, Kimmel said during his monologue. Nexstar Media Group, the major broadcast company that serves as primary affiliate for ABC, confirmed that it would preempt Kimmel's program in the wake of his remarks. Quote, the company's owned and partnered television stations affiliated with ABC Television Network will preempt Jimmy Kimmel live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's episode, Nexstar said in a press release. Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. So today is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
He made those comments on Monday, right?
Yes.
So I don't think it's that they had an issue with it. I think that they had an issue with the feedback they got.
Yeah, a lot of people saw that and were outraged, and rightfully so. I mean, the kid's already been proven to definitely not be a MAGA supporter. What was it? His boyfriend was a furry or something like that, which most definitely isn't in the MAGA movement. I've never met a furry in the MAGA movement, so
I'll give you the wacky leftist perspective.
Okay, lay it on me.
In the wake of that, is that they basically were looking at Nick Fuentes and his dates with a cat person, and basically a cat boy, yeah, and basically say that the Groypers all have some twisted fetish for transing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if he was having a boyfriend who's in the middle of transing, that they claim, and I've seen some people say this, that is the proof that he is MAGA.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look at that the Catboy stuff. I forget where all that came from, but it was in like a Discord server or something like that where they were talking about Catboys and everything like that. But
no, there is video of him going mall shopping with some dude wearing cat ears.
Yeah,
and,
no, I know
about
that.
buying clothing.
Yeah, the story's not fake, but there's like I don't remember all of it. I just don't think the guy was MAGA, man. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. There's not a lot of us guys running around going, "Oh, look at this furry trans guy that you know what? Maybe that's a based relationship I should get into because they got to love their country and Trump just as much as I do."
Right.
So I just don't. Sorry, the math's not mathing for me on this.
Right. Right. Well, here's I agree with you 100%. I think
of course. I hope so.
You've never heard a Groyper do anything other than bash, transing.
Yes.
So even some of them did harbor something like that. They wouldn't put that on their gun or use that as a basis to kill Charlie Kirk.
No, I don't think so. No, they always wanted to debate Charlie. They never wanted to harm Charlie.
Right.
So.
Right. Here is the full statement that was put out by Nexstar, where they say Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in national political discourse. We do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located, said Andrew Alford. Continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest, which really means not in our interest at the current time. And we have made the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move toward the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue. Do you think, so here's my first question for you on this topic. Do you think he's done?
Oh, no, in actual mass media, yes, but he'll have a podcast. He'll do something along those lines.
Like Don Lemon, you mean?
Yeah, he'll do something along the Don Lemon line, and people still want to hear him. You still have those crazy leftists that want to hear that voice because they agree with him. You know what I mean? And so he's never going to be as successful as he is now, and he'll be persona non grata. And I think it was Nexstar, I believe was the company, right? They see the tide changing, right? They see the Overton window shifting after this because you have Charlie Kirk's death has activated a crap ton of people. there's a lot of angry people and a lot of activated people. And I think that they're starting to see that. So they said, nah, that's a little too far for us. And they're gonna axe him. I don't see him coming back.
No. All right, so you think he's really done? I don't know that he is done. I am going to ask this question to my poll: is network TV done with Jimmy Kimmel? Yes, no, or I'm transing back and forth between yes and no. And we'll see where our poll comes in on that. Do you think that? I think a major question here is whether he was making money or not. That's definitely going to come into the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, I don't think there's any loyalty that people will have to these. I think they're all puppets who are very proud of their prestigious positions.
Yeah.
So I think that Hollywood, you know, as whatever great actor you have or marginally talented actor you have, there's always 10,000 more behind them who are just as pretty, just as talented, you know, or similarly enough talented that, you know, it doesn't.
He's replaceable.
Yeah, it's just very replaceable.
Yeah, he's disposable. He's replaceable. Yeah.
And I don't believe there's any loyalty whatsoever.
No, I also think what happened was Jimmy, you know, we went through the Biden presidency. We went through the flu and all that stuff that went on. And I think he probably flew too close to the sun and thought he was untouchable, right? Because he had all these years of nobody being able to say anything or do anything when he would say something crazy. And you know, there's always karma, man. You know, you cast something out and it comes back to you. So
yeah. So you think he's done? This was shared with me by our friend Jim Stala. He shared this in chat.
What's up, buddy?
Sinclair says Kimmel's suspension is not enough, calls on FCC and ABC to take additional action. Sinclair, the nation's largest ABC affiliate group, objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning assassination of Charlie Kirk. As discussed with ABC earlier today, Sinclair decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. Following these decisions, ABC has suspended production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate, deeply insensitive at a critical moment. We read all this. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. Oh my God.
No, please stop. Please stop it. No. That's a bridge too far for me, personally.
You think?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah. Because of that flippant remark that he said, right? That is now that's going to take away your free speech.
Yeah, let's have people with rifles, machine guns standing out off stage in case someone
if you said the right things. Yeah.
This is insanity. This is craziness. This is craziness.
Over Jimmy Kimmel. Of all people, Jimmy Kimmel.
And far from the worst thing he's ever said or done.
100%. No, I mean, I guarantee you can find a super compilation thing.
Yes, far worse things. Far more anti-MAGA. Far more. This is trying to awaken the hunger for fascism under the leader that you like. This is terrible. This is not. You should not be cheering for what this guy is saying here. FCC is a government body. We do not want FCC chairman coming in here and dictating what should be said on the airwaves and what should not be said. This is the whole fighting hate speech.
Yeah, it should be the broadcasting company itself to make that decision. And I think they
Lord
made the right decision.
Lord help me if I'm deprived of the opportunity of talking about what a complete and utter clown lunatics like Candace Owens are. I don't want her silenced. I don't care if there's no such thing as hate speech. There's no line that makes something hate speech. There's either criminal speech or legal speech. There is no, it's sort of okay, but hate speech, and we don't like that. So no, there's no sort of okay. There's legal speech and illegal speech. You're pregnant or you're not. You can't have it both ways. It's legal or it's not. And if it's legal and you try and make rules for speech that is otherwise legal, but say, no, we're not going to let you do this, or we're going to punish you that way, whatever, that is the same thing as treating as if it's illegal, and it's stretching out into ways that the Constitution never allowed for. Charlie Kirk would be rolling over in his grave, which he's not even in his grave. He would jump into his grave and roll over in it, to think that his death and comments that came about his death would all of a sudden serve as an impetus for the FCC to be taking greater control over free speech. I mean, that's asinine. It's so wrong. It's so messy. Who asked you, FCC? Listen, I keep referencing Brandenburg. There's a case in the Supreme Court from the 1960s called Ohio v. Brandenburg, which lays out what is considered incitement. That is speech which is illegal because it's inciting violence. And in order for it to be deemed illegal, it has to be something that is proximal, nearby, close by, in both time and location, that you're inciting someone to go do something to that guy or those folks over there. That is incitement. That you're basically rallying the crowd up to try and get them to take violent action that they can take in proximal, meaning nearby time and location. Not that they're going to have to get on a plane 3 days. If someone riles up a crowd and says, get on a plane now and go crusading across middle America, and they take a week to get together and start putting all that stuff together. That's not, even if someone you can clearly point out, and everyone's quoting him on the way, that's not incitement. Incitement, the purpose why something is illegal is because you're using your power of speech in order to rip into someone's emotions that they don't have time to digest what they're even thinking and feeling, and just be like, yeah, let's get them, without having a time to digest it. Once they have time to digest it, which is obviously somewhat subjective, now it cannot be speech that is illegal. It must be legal speech, even if they're saying the most vile, terrible, awful things in the world, things that you and I will be like, wow, you are a gross, disgusting, awful human being, and society should shun you and mock you for being such a buffoonish-looking Neanderthal. That's fine, but the government should be taking 0 steps to try and stop the person from expressing that type of speech, the way we want to have the FCC chairman coming out here and talking about immediate regulatory action. Hell no, because if they start stopping that speech, then all of a sudden that's what they do today and tomorrow, and then next month they change it to different speech, and then you have a different administration and they change it to other speech. So even if you're sitting on top that, oh, I agree with everything that current administration is saying, one day you won't, and they won't agree with you, and those same things that you're cheering on like an doofus being like, yay, go get those stupid lefties, ultimately will be used by lefties against you. So we should never be cheering for something like that to happen. You are cheering your own demise and destruction. And we should never relax the standards of speech. I hate speech, okay? I think people engage in hate speech, whether it's not simply against Jews, but against blacks, against gays, against women, against midgets, against people who have blue hair, pink hair, yellow skin. I don't care. People engage in hate speech, I think, are scum losers. And I want their ability to say and expose themselves for being scummy losers to be completely unfettered by the government. We should all see their stupidity in bright, shining, screaming words, so we all appreciate, wow, that guy has leprosy. That guy is kind of sick and twisted, and I want to have nothing to do with that guy. Because the other negative effect of trying to punish people is you don't end up changing for speaking, is you don't end up changing their minds. They just speak in code, or they whisper amongst themselves, so you don't even know what type of evil speech, and they're certainly not changing their hearts and minds as to how they feel about the situation. So we need to have robust free speech, including every drop of hate speech that walks all the way up to that very brilliant line that was espoused in Brandenburg v. Ohio. So this way, we actually have genuine free speech, and that would be an amazing way to honor Charlie's legacy, is if this type of stupidity is utterly rejected. Sorry for my rant.
Don't apologize. It was amazing. Way to go, man. I've been saying that all day today with the stuff about James Comer and us. I was discussing that our representative Comer was you're opening the door to this exact thing, because you're not going to get the people that you won't punish aren't going to get punished. It's going to be us. You're turning the gun on yourself. So
people are saying I'm reading this whole thing wrong. That's what my chat.
They were also saying that you're fighting for your enemies or something like that too. But Man, I don't want the FCC telling anybody what they can and can't say. I want to see these people say it so I can call them out, so I know who the enemies are.
I don't
If not,
think
they're
I'm
going to
reading.
say it on a forum.
Yeah, they're going to
They're
say
going to hide it on
elsewhere.
a forum somewhere, and they're still going to be radicalizing people. They're still going to be threatening people. It's whatever.
This, I'm not misreading what this says. When he's saying that it's a critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. You're basically saying that we are now going to force these different big companies to do our bidding. So they'll have a middleman in between. I'm not misconceiving, and I do not think I misconceived anything about what this is calling for. I do not want, we should be disbanding the FCC. We don't need an FCC. We don't need it.
No, I
not
agree.
giving them more regulatory action to be taken. No, I see a lot of you saying you're wrong on this, Joe, and some of you are saying spot on. And some are saying wrong. Joe, calm down. Reread it. I read it, Amanda. I read it.
All right, then let me reread it. Let me see if I interpret it different because I just listened to it. Give me a second. Critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. Wait, are they trying to say that they want the local networks to have their own control instead of being lorded over by the big national networks? So now my local news network or my local affiliate can do more of what they want versus following the big groups or the big networks.
One more time.
Critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. I think you might be wrong, Joe.
What do you think?
I still agree with your rant, but I think
what
they're
do you think
saying
it means?
So I'm reading it this way that they're saying that the big national networks shouldn't have control over your local networks, so that they shouldn't force what you get to see. If your local network wants to play a different newscast or someone other than Jimmy Kimmel in that time slot, they can choose to do it.
So you're saying that I'm misinterpreting this and I was really trying to say
it's up to the broadcaster.
That these broadcasters are under too much under the thumb of big national networks.
Exactly. Yep. I think you're wrong. I didn't read it myself. I just listened to Joe interpret. So
I don't
reread it again and see the wording.
Mr. Kimmel's remarks are inappropriate, deeply insensitive at a critical time of country.
Just start where we appreciate the FCC chairman.
We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in communities.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the crux of it. I understand where the crux is, but I just want to get context.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So we believe. So what do we believe that broadcasters? These are individuals.
Yes.
Right. So that would be Jimmy Kimmel himself, right?
Yes.
Now, I assume he's a broadcaster here, right?
Yeah, of course.
Fine. So Jimmy Kimmel folks like Jimmy Kimmel have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate FCC Chairman Kerr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action, which that phrase right there, anyone calling the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to do anything, okay. That bothers me. To address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. So, control held over local broadcasters. So, local broadcasters, that means someone like me?
No, because YouTube's not regulated by the FCC. But let's say you had a
someone
local
from
Fox
Channel 7 Des Moines News.
Yeah. So, what channel was it? I always forget what channel Kimmel came on because I don't watch normal
ABC.
TV. ABC. So your local ABC network, right? Let's say because I am in a conservative state, Alabama, we are red as can be, right? If they say, you know what, we don't like Jimmy Kimmel coming on at his time slot, they should be allowed to choose another broadcast. You shouldn't be forced to watch Jimmy Kimmel if your local people don't want to watch it.
So this is to give freedom to the locals to basically tell the national folks that you cannot.
You can't force us to have Jimmy.
You can't force us to show Jimmy Kimmel here.
Yep.
Okay, that is completely different.
I love the chat saying Cynic is right. Thank you so much. You're boosting my ego tremendously.
Not everyone's agreeing.
No, I'm pretty positive that that's what they're saying. I still don't like. It gives me. It just really gives me the wrong vibes with the immediate regulatory action. Anytime any government entity says immediate regulatory action, I go, wait, hold on, calm down before we do that. But yeah, no, you should be allowed to not.
So there should be freedom by the local area of ABC to decide whether they want to use this or not, whether they want to air something on a national level.
Mm-hmm.
On what basis are they interceding with what a private network is doing?
Oof.
Like why is that not an interference with free speech?
Well, technically the larger like networks are interceding with the free speech of your local network. For example, my local affiliate, nobody's watching Jimmy Kimmel. Nobody I know has ever watched Jimmy Kimmel. Nobody's ever come to me and said, "Oh man, Cynic, have you seen that new Jimmy Kimmel bit last night?" Unless it was, he said something really, really dumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if my local people, which are, rednecks and Alabamians, aren't watching Jimmy Kimmel, they should be allowed to show whatever they want, right? They should be allowed to show whatever they want. And the big national groups are actually interfering with the free speech of the smaller local networks.
So I guess that's why it comes into an FCC as far as deciding who's able to control those particular airwaves.
Yep, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a dumb redneck, but that's the way I interpret it.
Mm.
College educated, but it's still Alabama colleges. So.
Right. I want to mull this one over. I'm gonna mull this over.
Cynic, if you're watching chat, I disavow agreeing with you purely based on the Alabama reference. Thank you.
I need to mull over where I fall on this particular issue, because anytime we have the government interceding, it's gonna make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
I agree with you 100%. I don't want them to regulate anything, but I also don't want my local channel forced to show something, right? That they are not getting any. First of all, they're not getting any revenue off of it.
Right.
They're not getting people to watch that, so they're losing money by being forced to show something that
I would agree that it does seem to serve to ultimately enable our country to be tailored to its more local populace in general is a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can concede that. This is bad, because I feel like this might be the second time in 2 days that I might be wrong on something.
Oof. I'm glad I was here to help.
No, because that doesn't happen. That's end of times type of thing. I'm consistently wrong. Every 7 months I'm wrong on something.
Yeah.
Every 7 months it happens, almost like clockwork. Once I went 11 months without being wrong. But
you're having an existential crisis right now?
Yeah, no, because I was actually reviewing like some of the things, my comments from yesterday's show, where I was talking about the dialogue between Tyler and his boyfriend. And I said, it really seems sincere. And on second reflection, I'm like, wait, no, I don't think so.
I think. Well, let me.
I don't think so. I think that's I think that's AI. I think AI might have generated this.
Let me soothe your woes a little bit, right? First of all, Vivian, yes, roll tide. Second of all, your rant is spot on, completely. And just
was misplaced. It was misplaced.
It was misplaced. But your rant was one. That's why I didn't say anything at all. I was waiting for you to take a breath. I muted my mic and literally started clapping. You're spot on, and I agree with you 10,000%. Whether the FCC is going to regulate something for good or not, the phrase "immediate regulatory action" makes me want to go back to 1776, right? It makes you want to go throw tea in harbors, leave things alone. They're broken enough.
But over here, it's regulating for the purposes of having individuality of states.
Exactly. Of free speech. You're now trying to allow your
federal
local
power
networks to have free speech. Because right now they don't. They are forced to show Jimmy Kimmel at his time slot. And you imagine all the old men sitting there watching their TV that just go, nah, and then change off the channel. And now your local affiliate is losing all that money.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special Remembrance of Charlie Kirk on Friday during Jimmy Kimmel's live time slot. Special will also air across all Sinclair stations this weekend. In addition, Sinclair is offering this special to ABC affiliates across the country. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Yeah, I think he might be done.
Yeah,
I think this is smelling. This is smelling like he's roasted. He's roasted.
Yeah, he's cooked.
It's so it's so weird because this was
it was a tame comment. It was a. I disagree with the comment. I think it's gross. But at the same time, some of the stuff I've heard him say, especially when Biden was in office, that's
the difference. That's the difference.
Oh boy!
If Biden was in office now, the whole national dollar would be very different right now.
Oh, completely agree.
Sinclair also
put this in the private chat with this section right here, where they're going to hold the services or whatever on that channel, and that's good on them, man. They're trying to make amends. So.
Sinclair also calls upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we asked Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. Oh my God, that'd be funny. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Wow. So there you go. That's a pretty. He's roasting over hot coals, and some folks are not too happy about it.
Yeah, well, of course not. They've lost another talking head, right? So in the past, 3-4 years, they've lost Don Lemon. They've lost who's the Guido guy, the Italian dude. I always forget his name.
Yeah,
his brother was your governor.
Chris Cuomo.
And then now they've lost Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, and even that Jim Acosta guy who was harassing Trump in his first term.
Acosta. Yeah.
They're falling like flies. Here's CNN having a meltdown over it, according to this, as shared by Nick Sorter.
Go ahead. I'm interested because are they sending everyone home? You know what's happening on the scene. You know the show would have been taping within the next hour. So people would be there. Yes, this is very abrupt, very abrupt.
And this is all about jawbone. It's all about public pressure. You know, actually revoking FCC licenses is extremely difficult. I wrote about this last fall when candidate Donald Trump was talking on the.
They lost Brian Stelter also. I don't know how he's back on CNN. But
well, they've been like teasing him back every once in a while. You know, he's a confirmed bachelor, by the way, guy. Actually, he's married.
A woman. He's married.
Yeah, he's married to a woman, right? Yeah.
He figured if he goes orange, he'll like be able to fit in better. He never had this complexion before. He smeared that crap all on the top of his pate, and he's ready to go. There's more makeup. He's like under like 4 pounds of makeup. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why he looks way fatter. Is what it is. It's a lot of makeup on it.
The makeup adds 14 pounds.
Then the makeup adds 57 pounds.
Oh my God. One of the best lines I've ever heard is like, it's not fair. The camera adds 10 pounds. How many cameras are on you?
Oh man, I can't stand this guy.
Yeah, let me get to some of the chats because there's been a bunch of chats that I've missed. Well, and then we'll come back in here.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. So thoughts on Erica Kirk if she was to run for president? I think she should now. Okay. You're in the moment now. Just because she's Charlie Kirk's wife. She's not Charlie Kirk. I want someone who I can feel confident is able to display strength under and a depth of understanding difficult situations on a world stage. I think that she has my utmost sympathy. But when people are in the moment, I don't think a couple of years from now you're going to be jumping to that. I don't think folks will be going there. I think if anything, people were looking for JD Vance. You want to tell me down the road? We'll see what happens with her down the road. She's got a lot of time to establish who she is, what her views are. But I certainly would not say in 28 she should be running. The helicopter was running in the background. Trump probably only heard the "How are you doing, Mr. President?" and he responded to that. Could be. There was a helicopter in the background of that clip. I didn't want to play the rest of the clip because ABC will just ding me. I put the whole interview with Trump in locals chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Wellesley, the Milli Vanilli of news. Coastal elite perspective is anybody who lives in the center of the country has to be MAGA. That is Jimmy Kimmel's perspective. That is true.
Oh,
that is true.
Yeah.
Come on, Cynic. We all know you got your first suit at the dry cleaners.
Dude, come on, man. I told you that in confidence. You're going to blast me on the show? Golly.
LMAO, I'm listening to you guys, and I check my ABC affiliate. They're playing Celebrity Family Feud instead of Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, get the F out. When will the left understand they just imported real 18th century style right-wing extremists? They're seeing it. They are starting to see it. Jimmy Kimmel's comments are like saying MLK was taken out by the NAACP. If anyone was to say that today, they would be canceled. That's a very good analogy. That's a very good analogy.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
That's a good job, Elegant. There's actually a job at the FCC chairman because it's public airwaves. That's why you can't swear on them. Joe, you're not wrong. I think that's more about the local affiliates, i.e. Sinclair and Nexstar, having control over what is put on versus the national brand. That's the fight at the FCC. Doing this gives them favor with the current administration. It does. I know. To be clear, I think it's Sinclair and Nexstar asking FCC to give them more control over what they air instead of NBC saying you will air Jimmy Fallon 11:30 and you can't be an NBC station. Perhaps.
You still just don't want to accept it.
No, I'm saying I think he's cloaking in nobility. He's cloaking in nobility. Really, what he's asserting for greater personal control. So.
I don't disagree with that point, but still, that's you trying to like.
Shut up. This was a statement by Sinclair, who owns local stations, not a statement from the FCC. Jimmy's not a broadcaster. Sinclair's a broadcaster that are forced to carry Jimmy from national network. See, that makes more sense. That's why I asked you that question. Who's the broadcaster in this context? So Sinclair is the broadcaster. You're talking about local broadcasters being on the national broadcaster. That does make more sense. There you go. The War Eagle. Sinclair owns multiple local.
Don't you ever show that one?
What is that?
That is Auburn football, and we're not gonna talk about that team.
Sinclair owns multiple local ABC affiliate stations. They are the broadcaster. Joe, I take it back. I question dearly. Shut up. You're missing the fact that the owner Sinclair is asking for the FCC to intervene. Yeah, I think that's what I was saying. I think he's asking because he wants more power. So, Joe needs a mint tea with 2 honeys. Charlie Starbucks order because it sounds like you're losing your voice, bro. Maybe.
Yeah, I need the same thing.
Why does MSM always report what Trump is trying to say while being drowned out by Marine One? Why? I don't know. I noticed that also.
They don't want you to hear what he's got to say in case it's a sound clip or it's poignant, right? They just don't.
Yeah. Destiny got banned from Twitch. I heard about that also. Do you have thoughts on that?
He's already been banned one time forever ago. That's why he started doing his stuff on YouTube. So he'll be back. They won't keep him off. Twitch is a cesspool.
That's all I remember. Roseanne. She got fired for mooning the flag when she was singing the Star Spangled Banner. So she got canceled for that.
Yeah.
Did you cover Trump riding in a kingly golden carriage with Lizard King Charles? I think they're trying to butter him up for more Ukraine money. I did not cover that. I didn't look at anything about his trip to UK. I know that they were treating him lavishly. That's what I read headlines to that effect, but I didn't see that particular element to it. Because I wasn't that crazy about it. But maybe I'll try to look at that now. I mean, right now, but I'm saying sometime in the near future. Kirk's wife should get a 2-year term for life insurance. Secret Service. ABC only owns 8 local stations directly. All other is Sinclair, who owns 28. Nexstar owns 33.
Wow.
Go Bucks. SEC sucks. That tide is fading, huh?
Can you refund that one? I'll Venmo you $4.99 if you refund that one. All right.
I wouldn't even know how to refund it. I'll try. I'll do my best. Uzelian said, Joe, here's a statement from Sinclair Marriott Group on this. I think I got that statement already. So thank you for that. I think he shared that before I opened up the Sinclair statement. And he also says, Joe, the West Coast is cooking. The West Coast is cooking. What do we got here? I sort of wanted to morph into this anyway. I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization.
Good job.
Please inform many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing because I think they're not promoting discussion. They're trying to bully and silence their opponents. They're trying to intimidate and scare. They're trying to. They are terrorizing. If not, sometimes by stirring up and going to places to try and ratchet up the locals in ways that are just insane. And sometimes it's with property damage, and other times it's with physical damage. So yeah.
Well, they're also doing it with physical violence too. They're the ones that were putting concrete in in flag pipes or flag poles, quote unquote, and smacking people in the heads with them. So yeah, they're doing physical violence as well. So
I'm checking my poll out. I asked in this poll, is network TV done with Jimmy Kimmel? 74% said yes, 15% said no, 11% said they're transing back and forth, yes or no.
That's twice I've been right tonight. Just saying, me in the chat and I.
The chat and you are finding your commonality there.
No, I think they've probably been looking for a way to get rid of him for a while.
Yeah.
So.
I got the Destiny has been permabanned since 2022. No news. Yeah. No, Destiny was trolling, got banned from Twitch in 2022, and they never unbanned him. That's what I thought.
He's been on YouTube for years now.
Yeah.
Back when I was doing commentary like this and trolling, politicians and stuff like that. That's when all that happened. So it's been forever.
Yeah.
I think his son's also banned off Twitch.
Who is? Hassan Piker?
Destiny's son. No, Destiny's actual son, who's supposedly really based and right-wing, threatened his dad with physical violence, and I think Twitch banned his son too. I don't know if he was perma-banned. I never looked back into it, but
I didn't know he had a son old enough to be streaming. How old is his son?
He's in his early teens, as far as I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Imagine somebody procreated with that man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there's someone out there for everyone, guys.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
It gives all of humanity hope.
It should give you some hope. I promised I was going to cover. I was going to cover. Because I'm sort of at my 2-hour mark. I promised I was going to cover this debate with Bill Ackman. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's stay there. No, there was something else I really was thinking that I planned on covering tonight, which I never ended up getting to, and we're already more than 2 hours in. I didn't put it in the description anywhere, but I was thinking one of my subs shared with me 12-minute video of Obama talking about Charlie Kirk, and the idea of going through that is something. Maybe I'll do that on Locals tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do on Locals. You know what? I'll even do it tonight. That's what I'm going to do. That's so good. Oh my God, such a great idea. Such a great idea. You saw my brain working in real time there.
I saw it. It was great.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is this. We reached our goal tonight. So good job, you guys. Great job.
Ready to go. Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Accordingly, we're going to be looking into this whole brouhaha that has arisen as to whether or not Bill Ackman, who I believe Candace Owens said was offering $150 million, Charlie Kirk, that he turned down for him to be supportive of Israel, and that there was some sort of meeting that was happening. There was some sort of meeting that was happening a few weeks back where there was a retreat where Charlie Kirk met with Bill Ackman and 36 other social media influencers who came in by invite to have a weekend debate discussion with him or something like that. And that's, I think it was a weekend, I'm not sure. But that's where the offer supposedly was made, and that Charlie Kirk turned it down. And the conclusion they want you to draw from that is, so Israel wanted him dead because of that.
Wait, hold on. So let me draw this line for my own dumb, simple mind. So because Bill Ackman wanted him to be, I'm assuming, pro-Israel in his comments and commentary, and he was going to pay him $120 million. Bill
150.
Ackman,
No, don't sell short.
$150 million. You're talking about Bill Ackman, the what's he worth? Like $9 billion with his hedge fund.
Right.
Was only going to offer Charlie Kirk $150 million, and he turned that down. And so then that made what would it be? Mossad. They made Israelis so mad that they took him out because he just said, "Nah, I'm just not gonna take your money."
Yeah. Apparently, Israel will not take no for an answer. You said no, so now Israel is basically unleashed Tyler Robinson. That, I guess, is what the theory is.
Is
like
it?
How dare you say no? Now we're gonna martyr you.
But does Tyler Robinson have any sort of Jewish heritage or bonds to Israel in any shape, form, or fashion that we know of?
Well, if you take the name Robinson, you do an acrostic with the letters.
Yeah.
You actually can turn it into you can turn it into Rosenstein with the Tyler and everything. And if his name is Rosenstein, if you look at it that way, then you can understand how it is that he would have pledged his fealty to the state of Israel and really been a double agent.
Got you.
On behalf and not really American.
You're really delving into the weeds here.
And that way, that's why he would have pledged his fealty and been trained by Mossad over the last couple of weeks, ever since, and then activated for the purposes of exacting their revenge against Charlie Kirk, who had the audacity to say no to them.
Now, I did see, I'll play devil's advocate with you on this game because we're on a dirt road now and we were on the interstate, right? I have seen Charlie Kirk being critical of Israel lately. And then Benjamin Netanyahu was talking about he had invited him after these comments to come to Israel and he just didn't get to make it. So maybe huge shoulder shrug there.
So he invited him, he just didn't make it. What does that mean?
Well, he passed away before he got to make the trip. You know what I mean?
Oh, but he was going to come.
He was going to come. Yeah.
Oh.
He was invited. Yeah.
He was invited. He didn't turn it down.
I don't know. The statement was that he had invited him and he wasn't able to make it, because of this tragedy. He never got the chance to actually make it.
So for all that you know, he would have gone.
He turned it down. Yeah, as far as I know.
Well, he didn't turn it down by dying. Like at the moment that he's standing on the stage alive, BB might think he's still going to come.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he did turn it down and we don't know.
Oh, so he said, "Oh, that was the guy signaling with their arms
wording.
and their nose."
Yeah.
Was that the way he's answering his question? We can tell he's saying no.
There we go.
and that he's not, and that he's telling Bibi, no, I'm not coming to you. I hate you. You stinking Jaime. That's probably what he was. He was
That's exactly
lacing
what he said.
with subtext. That's what he was lacing into his answers. So that's why that would explain a lot.
Yeah, that explains a whole bunch.
It makes all of it much clearer. I did finish building while we were having this conversation the after party stream.
Okay.
Where I plan on reviewing an after show party, reviewing Obama's comments on Charlie Kirk. That's going to be on Locals. So this is the game plan I have is this. I am going to go straight from this show into a Locals after party, and I'm going to put this in the description, and I'm going to tag it, and this way you guys can just click over there if you're interested in watching me reviewing Obama talking about that, because we still need to spend some time talking about what this talking about this whole theory. Do you have any links that you can help me find on that? What did you put in our private chat?
That was the Sinclair stuff that you
that was
pulled up.
that
Yeah,
was
it
the
was
Sinclair.
combined. Yeah, this was just the full statement. So
Right. I mean, if not, I can
what
just,
do we
I
want
can,
in the research on the
I can
Bill
just
Ackman
start
stuff?
parsing out Bill Ackman and Charlie Kirk and finding that. I actually did a Grok search on this, like tell me the whole story. And I do have one particular thing that this is what alerted me to this story. I saw something about Bill Ackman saying this is complete crap and bunk. And I didn't read through it because I was
Well,
just
of course
like,
he's going to say that, you know.
right. But he was saying it's a flat out lie. But there was another thing involving this guy named Xavier DeRusso, who apparently was one of the people at the event that Charlie Kirk hosted with Bill Ackman and the other dozens of influencers. And I saw a lengthy statement from here. It was a trip to the Hamptons with Charlie Kirk and Bill Ackman.
Okay, so have you seen the text messages?
No.
All right.
No. Do you have that? Can you dig that up for me?
Yeah, let me see. This was shared. I haven't read this story, so we will see.
So you telling me it's going to suck?
I don't know. That's the latest stuff that I'm seeing are Bill Ackman's text messages. Is
okay.
Bill Ackman leaks. Bill Ackman shares text messages with Charlie Kirk to dispel Candace Owens' claims of Israel blackmail. So
okay, the Israel blackmail claims from Candace Owens. Should we look at Candace Owens' claims first?
Yes, we definitely should prime the audience and
prime
then
the audience
pull
for
the
what
rug
her
out
claims
from
are.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what she says. So this way, we're all on the same page here. While I put in the chat here in both Rumble and YouTube, Locals after party, Obama's twisted comments about Charlie Kirk. So Obama's twisted comments about Charlie Kirk is something I'm going to be covering in Locals right after. We're going to have a little Locals after party. So I'm going to pin that here in the chat and put it in the description. So this way, if you're watching afterwards, you can find it in the description while my good co-host here is doing co-hostian types of things. So I'll pin it to the type of it. If you bear with me another minute as he's digging up Candace Owens while I add this stuff to you guys over here. So this way you can just click right in there when we're done. Anyway.
Let's see. The sites are the sites that are pulling all this stuff are just real gray areas for me for news.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, like especially the ones that are like Billionaire Bill Ackman convened stormy Israel intervention with Charlie Kirk, sources says. So, yeah.
All right. We're going down the rabbit holes.
Might as well. I'll put this in the private chat.
We'll start there.
All right. There we go. Okay, let's everybody get your tinfoil hats on and see what we've got going.
Okay, here we go. The Gray Zone reports billionaire Bill Ackman convenes stormy Israel intervention with Charlie Kirk, sources say. A month before Charlie Kirk's killing, billionaire pro-Israel money man Bill Ackman arranged an intervention in the Hamptons, during which sources say he and others hammered Kirk for the conservative leader's growing criticism of Israeli influence in Washington. So I guess they said, you're going to be quiet and let us keep influencing Washington. That's what the money was. It's hush money. Okay. They thought he would take hush money. That's what they thought was going to happen.
They thought, Charlie Kirk, free speech absolutist, is going to take hush money.
All right. Kirk came away fretting about Israeli blackmail, sources say, as he who are your sources? Who are your sources? Is it like General Wade Milley? Is it Candace Owens?
They can't, they can't, divulge their sources. It's all off the record.
Because
hush. Mossad.
It's Mossad. Mossad. As he contemplated a Catholic conversion. So he's also contemplating a Catholic conversion at the same time. On September 11th, one day after the assassination,
he was Protestant, right?
There's a lot going on here. Well, on September 11th,
Okay.
One day after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, billionaire pro-Israel money man Bill Ackman took to Twitter to trumpet his relationship with the late conservative operative. Quote, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man. The Gray Zone has spoken to 5 people with intimate knowledge of Kirk's meeting with Ackman, which was held in early August. I think one of them is that Xander DeRusso. We're going to get there in a moment. So the Gray Zone has spoken to 5 people with intimate knowledge of Kirk's meeting with Ackman, which was held in early August. According to one source, Kirk was left upset after the gathering turned into an intervention where he was hammered for his increasingly skeptical views on the U.S. special relationship with Israel and for platforming prominent conservative critics of Israel at his TPUSA events. Since publishing the report, the Gray Zone has learned from one attendee of the Hamptons event that Ackman convened the influencers under the auspices of discussion about Zoran Mamdani. So it's Ackman's the one who did all this.
Yeah.
This is a key thing because we're going to see claims refuting
Who's the other influencers, though?
Well,
why aren't they coming up? They took the money.
The supposed threat he posed to the West if elected mayor of New York. But the meeting went off the rails when Ackman personally confronted Kirk about his views on Israel. The public face of UK Lawyers for Israel, Natasha Hausdorff, joined in the argument and began screaming at Kirk, according to the attendee. When his host presented him with detailed list of every offense he supposedly committed against Israel, Kirk was horrified, said one person. Ackman also allegedly demanded Kirk rescind his invitation for Tucker Carlson to speak at his upcoming America Fest in 2025 in December. The whole thing was a disaster, said an attendee. The Gray Zone reported on September 12th, citing a longtime associate. Where's the hush money? That's what I'm wondering. The Gray Zone reported on September 12th, saying a longtime associate of Kirk that Netanyahu had offered to organize a massive infusion of pro-Israel money into TPUSA and that Kirk refused.
Are we going to use Grok as a source?
The source will be Gray Zone. Another long-term friend of Kirk
I got
told the Gray
something on
Zone.
Natasha Hausdorff here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you want me to put it in there?
Yeah, I mean, if you can scan it and tell me if it's something that's refuting this or, consistent with this.
It's, it confirms that Natasha was at a meeting hosted by Bill Ackman. Yeah.
Okay. There was a meeting, but that meeting wasn't something that Bill Ackman supposedly was hosting. So another long-term friend of Kirk has told Gray Zone that the conservative activist also rejected an offer Netanyahu delivered 2 weeks before his death to meet with him in Jerusalem. So they're saying he said no. Kirk, according to one person with knowledge, inside knowledge of the meeting with Ackman, said he left feeling as though he'd been subjected to blackmail. So he wasn't blackmailed. I don't know where we're getting $150 million from. I don't know where that's coming from. In a series of text messages with the Gray Zone, Ackman described these accounts of his meeting with Kirk as totally false. He pledged to release public statement providing his own account of the event, but refused the Gray Zone's request for clarification or further details because he figured you would probably twist them. He would not accept phone calls from this reporter. I think I can easily put this to bed, Ackman promised. Our receipts, as they say. He did not abide when asked to provide the so-called receipts. We're going to be looking at them in a second. This is Xavier DeRozo. In an apparent bid to reinforce the pro-Israel tone at the Hamptons meeting, Ackman hosted a coterie of pro-Israel operatives and conservative influencers at the off-the-record engagement. One was Instagram influencer Xavier DeRusso of PragerU. Reached by phone, the Grey Zone, DeRusso sounded flustered when asked about his presence at the meeting. He repeatedly demanded to know how his supporter obtained his number and eventually hung up, refusing to answer questions about the event. Several Instagram posts by DeRusso show him and his friend conservative influencer Emily Wilson in the Hamptons on August 8th outside Topping Rose House, a posh hotel and restaurant in Bridgehampton,
Let me ask a question right quick.
New York. Yeah.
If this guy was there with Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk, probably the biggest, one of the biggest, if not the biggest conservative name. Would you not have a picture on your Instagram with Charlie Kirk?
I think Kirk, I don't think anyone's denying that Kirk was there. So, just saying. Okay. If that's what your theory is, I don't think
that's sort of my theory, because the research that I'm finding is not saying that Kirk was actually there or not, right?
We're going to get to DeRusso's claims. He refutes this thing here. He responds to this. First, we got to see what they say, and then we'll see his response. 2 weeks after the meeting, DeRusso was reportedly junketed on an all-expenses-paid trip by the Israeli government to visit Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid hub guarded by the IDF on the Gaza frontier. There, he recorded an Instagram video denying that the population of the besieged Gaza Strip was experiencing a famine. Well, okay. The Grey Zone received similarly agitated response from Wilson, known online as Emily Saves America. Following a phone call and exchange of text messages in which this reporter asked her numerous times about her attendance at the meeting in Hamptons, Wilson refused to comment. Instagram photos place her in the Hamptons at the same time as DeRusso. C.J. Pearson, a leading youth coordinator for the Republican National Committee, immediately referred the Grey Zone to his communications director when asked if he attended the Hamptons gathering. I'm very offended I wasn't invited. I'm not going to kid you.
Well, they've already got you.
The strong-arm tactics of the pro-Israel billionaires who helped fuel the growth of TPUSA were said to have contributed to Kirk's alienation with evangelical Christianity. Oh, they're trying to sway the Christians away. Yep. They're trying to sway the Christians away. That's what.
Of course they are.
That's what the Jews are doing, which emphasizes uncritical support for Israel as a bedrock principle. Several sources with access to Kirk said he's begun attending Catholic Mass with his wife, Erica, and was considering conversion before his death. Bree Solstad, a Catholic Twitter ex-influencer, has publicly corroborated this account of Kirk's religious realignment. Kirk's friend, the podcaster, how long does this go on? Jeez. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, you can end it. I think we, scan it real quick, see if you find anything about the 150 million. I think we've got the crux of it.
Okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to ask Chat GPT.
Oh, we're going to GPT, huh?
I'm going to ask him to review this
and give you a summary.
Yeah.
It's smart, man. Very smart, man. I do that on my anime reviews. I give some basic thoughts on Saturdays and then say, all right, give me a very funny review. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not finding anything like disproving or proving that he was actually at that meeting other than, of course, I haven't read Ackman's text messages yet, so maybe I'll find that in there. Candace Owens might get sued for defamation, though, if she was going a little hard in the paint with her comments.
Who knows? I hate how people are going after Megyn Kelly because I don't do anything.
Yeah.
So I asked, can you give me a summary of this article? Write it like Joe Biden in a fog of confusion.
Why would you do that?
Because I want to enjoy myself here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know. Where am I? That's all you're gonna get.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this. I promise we're gonna get to the bottom of it. So here we go. So look, I've been reading this report, and it's about Bill Ackman, billionaire investor. You know the name. Come on, and Charlie Kirk. Conservative activist, founder of TPUSA. The article claims that in early August, Ackman called together a meeting, like an intervention, in the Hamptons, supposedly to confront Charlie Kirk about Kirk's criticisms of Israel and his letting people speak at TPUSA events who were critical of Israel. Here are the main players and what went down. Bill Ackman, wealthy pro-Israel financier, tries to pull strings in political and social influence. Charlie Kirk, conservative leader, runs TPUSA, recently more skeptical of Israel's influence in U.S. politics, letting critical voices onto his platforms. Natasha Hausdorff, UK lawyer to Israel legal director, present during the meeting and took part in challenging Kirk.
You need to fall asleep more in the middle of reading this if you want it to be an accurate.
All right. Several other people were there at the gathering. Ackman arranged a meeting in the Hamptons under the pretext of discussing someone named Zoran Mamdani. You know the guy. Supposedly to talk about him. Sources say the meeting pivoted into intervention aimed squarely at Kirk, hammering him over his views in Israel.
Dog-faced pony soldiers, I'm telling you.
Kirk was reportedly shown a list of offenses, as in specific criticisms people had of him with regard to how he handled Israel. After the meeting, sources say Kirk felt like he was being pressured. Other context. The article says Kirk had lately refused an offer from Benjamin Netanyahu to channel significant pro-Israel funding to TPUSA. Also, he turned down a meeting in Jerusalem. Kirk had been publicly pushing back.
Yeah, I brought that up earlier, remember?
That he turned down a meeting. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Kirk had been publicly pushing back, criticizing what he saw as Israel's influence in Washington, complaining that certain pro-Israel donors were trying to shame or silence critique. Also mentioned that, I know, they're doing a bad job. Also mentioned that Kirk might have been undergoing a religious shift, attending Catholic Mass with his wife.
What does that have to do with anything, though?
I think the point is
Catholics
that
staunchly anti-Zionist?
I guess less pro-Israel than the evangelicals. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we always get the tag Judeo-Christian, right?
So there you go.
Yeah,
that's probably where they're going.
Yeah.
All right. Ackman denies the article's version. It's true. He says the story is totally false. These receipts, so far he hasn't shared them publicly. Some attendees of the meeting corroborate parts of what's alleged. The confrontation, the list of criticisms, the attempt to pressure Kirk. But there are gaps. Some people don't want to talk. Sources are people with intimate knowledge, etc. So, despite all the swirling around, the core claim is Ackman and a crowd of pro-Israel influencers tried to pressure Charlie Kirk into falling in line and pulling back from his criticism of pro-Israel influence and eliminating his platform of Israel critics, rescinding some speaker invitations. Kirk resisted. He's a real Democrat. Yes,
that was more of a Joe thing right there. You nailed it.
He felt under attack. He said, this is democracy. maybe black
democracy, man. Come on. You know the thing.
This is all happening just before Kirk's death. The article switches between call, payments, offers, rumors. It's murky. Some of these are allegations coming from unnamed sources. There's denial from Ackman. Paints a picture of political pro-influence pressure behind the scenes of money, friendship, public platforming, ideology, all tangled up. All right.
So before we get to Ackman stuff, I have a point. We were going to talk a little bit about Nick Fuentes, right?
Yes.
If anybody was going to be offered money by Ackman, it would be Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes is a sassy bitch and would have definitely came out and said that money was offered to him.
True.
Why would you offer it to Charlie?
Unless they figured that that's what would happen, so they avoided him.
You give Nick Fuentes enough money, I bet you that bad boy rolls over.
Oh yeah.
Look, hey, there's enough money to make him do that. So,
Charlie Kirk is loudspeakers critical of Israel TPUSA events. These are the what's been verified. None of this is Ackman has criticized college campuses and DI programs he claims are biased against Israel. Charlie Kirk recently began distancing himself from hardline pro-Israel positions. He said publicly that Christians should be forced to support Israel unconditionally and criticize U.S. foreign aid to Israel. I have also. I said the exact same. Literally, this is exactly my position. That we
That's
should
why
not
you
be
might get a
forcing-
trip to the Hamptons. Keep doing it.
Ackman has publicly denied the Gray Zone's version of events. He issued a denial claim reporting false. So there's nothing. Well, everything else is so. There's nothing really here that's not sourced by an unnamed individual. That's basically what ChatGPT is telling us. Okay, let's look what DeRusso said. Okay, this is Xavier DeRusso. This is what caught my attention on this story. Why I saved this little clip here. Well, let me just get to a couple of chats that came in first before we get into that. Seth Dillon of Babylon Bee was at meeting. He made statement and also text. I sent to you, Cynic. It was originally posted on Site Gray Zone.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Max Blumenthal's father is Sidney Blumenthal. Hillary's Sidney Blumenthal. Remember him? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Oh.
Shai says, doubt this meeting happened. August 8th was a Friday. Also, he broadcast his show from his studio, Cynic, for the win.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. Well done. And Candace will eventually come to the conclusion that all these rabbit holes were sponsored by the French government to throw off her Macron theory. I don't think so. There's enough hatred as the Jews. I miss the days when the craziest conspiracy theory I came across was that FEMA was digging tunnels to connect all the Walmarts when they were going to use them to set up camps or something.
I thought that was all the Jewish guys in New York doing that. Wait,
Yeah.
who's digging the tunnels?
Who's
Is it
digging the
FEMA or
tunnels?
is it Joe's people? Figure them out.
It's tough to say for sure.
There's a lot of tunnels being dug.
Can't really know
no
for sure. So this is what called my attention to this whole story. It's Xavier DeRusso saying, clearing the air regarding the Hamptons trip with Charlie Kirk and Bill Ackman. What's true? Yes, dozens of influencers, including myself, were invited to an event by Charlie and his team, not by Bill Ackman, which changes the entire thing. It changes the entire thing because Bill Ackman is being invited here by Charlie, not by. It's so.
Yeah, but hold on. Before we this guy could have taken the money.
Okay. I think he would know that the other. I understand. We know the other influencers would be able to refute him, right?
Yeah, if they come out and speak, sure.
Right. Charlie wanted to get to know rising conservative voices and where we stood on various issues. The subject matter were primarily about the following topics: Islam's growing presence in the West, marriage dating, Mamdani, right-wing infighting, the economy, and various narratives regarding Israel.
Okay.
Charlie wanted to see us respectfully debate him and each other. There was a range of views there on every topic. He wanted to learn our perspectives and analyze our debating skills from an objective point of view.
Okay.
He started each topic with a provocative statement to encourage the creators to debate. Example, one of the topics he started by saying, rough quote, if I were to post right now, Bibi Netanyahu needs to resign, what would be the reaction? This, of course, led to a number of responses. Someone said the post would indirectly empower Hamas, and Charlie responded that her statement was moral blackmail.
Okay.
And that if she wants to debate the topic of Israel, she needs to work on using more facts and less emotion. So he's like giving like a class here in how to debate.
Yeah.
The conversations, and that's where he's using the term blackmail. The conversations with Charlie were less about what to believe. It was about how to express it if we want to truly make an impact. So this is Charlie training people how to be better Charlies, basically.
Yes.
Bill and Charlie never debated or argued. I don't know where that narrative came from. If it happened, it certainly wasn't around any of us. Bill mostly spoke about marriage and economics, then chilled with us. I'm not going to pretend to know every thought of Charlie's, but he very much stood with Israel. His frustrations expressed during the Hamptons event were that many people debated the topic emotionally rather than logically. Mind you, this was a small portion of the event. When Max Blumenthal from Gray Zone, which I never heard of until he called, contacted me, I was wine drunk and boarding a boat in Italy. I was literally just confused why he was calling me and annoyed that he wouldn't tell me who gave him my personal number. Charlie was murdered a week ago, so when I got a call about the Hamptons trip, I was trying to assess what narrative someone was putting together, meaning his guard was up because who the hell is this person? I don't know how they have my private number here.
Yeah.
So no, Max, I didn't panic. I just didn't trust you. It gave a stranger danger.
Yeah.
Lastly, nothing about the Hamptons trip from the point of view of creators was an intervention. Charlie designed the event and led it as a chance to listen to all us speak, spark conversation in a way only he could. We were encouraged to keep using our voices and fight for what we believe in, regardless of where we fell on various issues. That's exactly who Charlie Kirk was, and my last memories with him in the Hamptons are something I'll always cherish.
Okay.
So that's a pretty strong refutation
of what Candace Owens is saying. And has any other influencers come out that were at the event and made a statement yet?
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I haven't seen that. But should we see what End of Times headline says about Bill Ackman and the text messages? Let's
we should at least cover the text messages. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Bill Ackman shares text messages with Charlie Kirk to dispel Candace Owens' claims of Israel blackmail. So can you guys see? You can see that. Okay. Charlie Kirk, how are you? I'm doing great. Really enjoyed our time together last week. Thank you again for doing that. It was great to get to know you better. We should do dinner sometime with the ladies. Absolutely. That would be awesome. Let me know when you'll be in New York City and we'll have you over. Thank you. I will. We're there a few times this fall. Great. Just let me know. That's him being blackmailed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and his statements, though, that I've watched have been very mild compared to a lot of other people. Right. So I don't understand.
Are you saying Charlie Kirk's criticisms of Israel?
Yeah, they've been. I don't want to say milquetoast because they're not. They're semi-harsh in the way he's delivering them, but they're spot on. It's a lot of the same things I've heard you say. So, conspiracy theories, man. It's another grassy knoll situation. And
but you said you had all these different thoughts on this thing.
Yeah, but we found the text messages. So now that blew all my conspiracy theories out the window. But I mean, definitely, if you want to influence somebody that's critical of Israel, you would go make the Nick Fuentes trade. That's what you would do. And for Nick Fuentes to dispel everything and agree with Charlie and this entire situation, I think it puts the rumor to bed. And I think Candace might be in a little hot water, depending on what she said. I haven't watched what she said or heard her statements, but what I would like to see is other influencers come out and make a statement and see more about the event. So, because I was trying to find.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The more voices we have on this, the more clarity we'll have as to what happened.
Yeah, but 100%. It doesn't matter, right? At this point, if he didn't take the money, you still have the glaring object in front of you. That how did the shooter get trained by Israel to take him out?
Unless that he's one of the sleeper cells they had.
Yeah. They activated him with the magic word.
They activated him with the whole trans
guys. Some of this, I'll be the first one to say.
What are you doing?
The conspiratard schizo thing.
You're boomering everything, Joe.
I'm not boomering
everything. You boomered everything. Quality content, folks. This is what we do over here on Wednesdays.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Joe has no suit jacket on. Nick Fuentes did. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did. I felt shamed.
Yeah.
Shamed. In the wake of conservative activist Charlie Kirk's tragic killing, billionaire investor Bill Ackman has come forward. Private text messages exchanged with Kirk to debunk explosive claims by podcaster Candace Owens that he orchestrated a secret intervention to blackmail Kirk over his views on Israel. The controversy erupted amid a wave of online conspiracy theories following Kirk's death in September 15, 2025 at a Turning Point USA event in Utah, where he was fatally shot. A 22-year-old suspect, Tyler Robinson, was arrested, but authorities did not link the incident to Kirk's political stances, including his positions in the Middle East. Owens, a vocal critic of Israel, alleged that Ackman, a prominent pro-Israel advocate, pressured Kirk during a clandestine Hamptons gathering last month to suppress dissenting voices, including those of Tucker Carlson, by threatening repercussions. Ackman, in a lengthy post on X on Wednesday, shared screenshots of WhatsApp conversations from the days following the alleged event, portraying a cordial and friendly exchange that he argues contradicts any notion of coercion. The text dated August 2024 begin with Kirk checking in. How are you? Ackman responds warmly. I'm doing great. Really enjoyed our time together last week. Thank you for doing that, which is implying Charlie Kirk did it, right?
He set up the event. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great and great to get to know you better. We should do dinner sometime with the ladies. Kirk would respond enthusiastically. Absolutely. That'd be awesome. Let me know when you'll be in New York City. Fine. Ask yourself whether Charlie sounds like someone who I threatened and or was subject to an intervention about Israel or otherwise, Ackman wrote in his post, emphasizing the tone of mutual respect. The billionaire detailed the Hamptons meeting, clarifying it was organized by Turning Point USA and held at a hotel in Bridgehampton, not his personal residence. That's something that you probably can find out by sending a questionnaire over to the hotel and questioning them, who booked the rooms.
He did say it held in August.
Who booked the rooms?
Yeah.
The TP USA Hamptons event was not held in my house, rather at a hotel in Bridgehampton. State Ackman acknowledged covering expenses like travel, food, and lodging for participants, but stressed this was, so there you go. This was not a Chatham House rules event, referring to off-the-record discussions, and noted no non-disclosure agreements were required. Addressing Owen's specific accusations that he lobbied Kirk to disinvite Carlson from a Turning Point event due to the former Fox host's criticism of Israel, Ackman denied any such pressure. Quote, I did not complain to Charlie about Tucker Carlson's criticism of me at TP USA. I did ask him why he thought Tucker attacked me, and he told me that he did not know why. He explained, Ackman added that Kirk had praised his rebuttal to Carlson, calling it a great one. Furthermore, Ackman revealed that during the discussion, Kirk expressed frustration with hardline pro-Israel voices. Quote, he complained to me that some pro-Israel advocates view any criticism of Israel as anti-Semitic, and we both agree that that's wrong. Ackman wrote, underscoring a shared perspective rather than conflict. Owens, who's clashed publicly with Ackman over Israel-related issues, has dismissed such defenses. In a separate post, she lambasted media outlets covering the story, declaring, the New York Post is a propagandist outfit for Israel, which has employed at various times literal IDF soldiers for writers.
I mean, they probably have.
Yeah, what the hell does
But
that
I
mean even? Yeah, so
yeah, but it's mandatory service over there, so you have no choice. So
Yeah.
if they're Israeli.
any
come on.
Israeli would be a former Israeli soldier. It's the stupidest thing.
Exactly.
Ackman's rebuttal comes as the conservative community grapples with Kirk's loss, which has already sparked heated debates over free speech, political violence, and online rhetoric. Attorney General Pambani, a separate development, vowed to crack down on threats disguised as hate speech, drawing backlash from MAGA figures who fear it erodes First Amendment protections. Attention Kirk himself championed in life. Quote, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, or anyone associated with him. Ackman insisted, I've never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie Kirk. He concluded the plea for restraint amid the grief. Let's not let those emotions cause us to construct conspiracy theories that can cause innocent people serious and potential deadly harm. One tragic and devastating loss is enough. The feud highlights deepening rifts within conservative circles over Israel policy. Even as Kirk's death unites many in mourning, his legacy Turning Point's USA founder. So there you go. Seth Dillon's response to intervention. Fine. I'll do this.
I'll read another one. I'll do my job that I just got paid for. Come on, Joe.
Gosh. Gosh.
So hard to read words. So difficult. I feel for you, Joe.
Yeah. So this was Seth Dillon. Says on July 8th.
Oh, come on. Why are everybody writing just reams of paper on this? Like these
Why
are
does
so...
that happen? Oh, just read it. Just read it.
Oh no.
Oh, Joe, just read it. Joe, you get paid for this, Joe. I've got to jump over to locals. I'm supposed to. I schedule my locals for 12:45 on July 8th. That's the. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, after the show, I'm going into locals, and I'm going to be reviewing Obama's comments about Charlie Kirk, which I saw little bits of it, and I started getting outraged. So I will be doing that over on locals. The link is in the description. It's also pinned in the chat. On July 8th, I got a text from Charlie Kirk inviting me to an influencer retreat. The theme was Save the West. I told him I was available. Would see him there. Very little information. Retreat took place in the Hamptons on August 4th and 5th. At least 30 people attended. I only knew a handful of them personally. He'd speak a little, then open the floor discussion. Any private meetings took place. I wasn't in them. Angry confrontations. I didn't witness or hear about it. Should ever such things come to light, it will be news to me. One concern Charlie raised was about free speech. He felt the criticism of Israel was so discouraged, so penalized that they aren't really free to voice it. Some of them agreed with him. I argued that while it can come at a cost in certain contexts, it also pays pretty handsomely in others. There are people who have generated massive audiences engaged by doing little other than criticizing Israel and Jews. This is true. There's massive amounts of coin coming in for Jew hatred today. I pointed out that in my case, I was criticizing the critics that had come to at high cost. Prominent figures on the right now have me in their crosshairs. Jackson Hinkle, for example, was at 100,000 subs on October 7th, and he has 3.5 million now by doing nothing but bashing. And I can't tell you how much money having X count of that is worth. Yeah, you can't even begin to imagine.
X pays a lot with your when you got that many people.
But there's also the rollover that now he has a real channel. You know what I'm saying? It changes whether the guy is making a couple 100,000 to being worth potentially tens of millions. That's if you monetize it correctly. It's not hard to do that. That's what I'm saying is it's massive change, which has purely come because he's basically been saying the Jews have mine. The Jews are the ones who canceled the Olympics in 1942. But they were in the Holocaust. No, it was them. We were in World War.
A lot of USS Liberty speeches for $10 million.
Yes, all about that. I pointed out in my case, I was criticizing critics that had come at high cost. Prominent figures on the right now having their crosshairs as an enemy who must be destroyed. Then I'm in a position where I feel the need to write this post and clear my name of any wrongdoing is only further evidence of this. After the treat, I sent Charlie a text to let him know it meant a lot that he wanted me there. He replied, "Of course, I'm here for you." I responded, "Same." He then shared a verse from scripture that has been on my mind ever since. God is our refuge and strength and very present help in trouble. I did not organize or participate in an intervention with Charlie. I was there at his personal request. I did not coerce him or threaten him or pressure him or witness anyone else do these things. I spent 2 days hearing from our friend, both his concerns and his wisdom. He took time to listen and to encourage each of us. He welcomed our feedback debate. That's why we're there. I didn't place any calls to try and stop anything from being published. Sick with grief over the loss of my friend. I'm sure there'll be responses to this that accuse me of dishonesty. I've attached screenshots of correspondence with Charlie and his team to support what I've said here. The fact that any of this is necessary is a disgrace. August 4th, 5th, can you join us? Yes, I'm available. Any details you can share, let me know. And the invitation only Save the West leader retreat. He said he could be there. Next thing was, it meant a lot that you want me here. Glad I caught from my perspective. Of course, I'm here for you. Same. And there's the text message. There's the thing. Hi, Seth. You sent in my thoughts and prayers this week, as I know it's been a hard week for all of us. I'm reaching out as we're hearing that there's reporters and influential figures looking for information about the Hamptons. I reached out to several people already. These people have no good intentions during a time while we mourn our friends. This is obviously someone from Turning Point USA. Please not respond to me a comment, and please send me any screenshots and messages you receive about this. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you during this time. So there you go. So you can take with that from that. You can reach your own conclusions. I reached my conclusions.
Yeah.
And
I think it's just a way to add another addition, another way to smear.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Those receipts are pretty definite, I think. So.
Yep. All right, I'm heading over to Locals. Please before we head over there, I want you to tell people where they can find you, because I'm heading over to Locals for a Locals after party. Link is in the description and pinned in the chat, where I'm going to be covering what Obama said about Charlie Kirk when it was a 12-minute video of him talking about him that I plan on covering over on Locals. So, but before I head over there, why don't you tell folks, remind them who you are and what you're about.
I am just a commentator. We discuss comics, anime, drama, different things like that, news topics. It just depends on FFS Podcasts. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can find me on Twitter at Ambient Aristotle. And you can follow my publishing company, Imprint Publishing, on Twitter also. That's pretty much the long and short of it. So.
All right. And I'm including his links over here in the description so that you guys can find him. And because I should have done that ages ago. Why did I do that? I really should have done that. Oh my gosh. No.
What'd you do?
I screwed
Don't
up.
tear it up. Don't destroy my channel. It's a baby channel. It's just growing, man.
Please make sure you guys sign up to him. I'm trying to get him monetized. That's one of the things I told him. I'm going to get him monetized. So even if you don't really care about him at all, even if you think he's kind of slow, I'm asking you if you can please click the link and go over there and just give him a follow.
Yeah, give me a follow. It'd be nice. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The guy really needs it. Being monetized is a massive accomplishment.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know what he's got, all these different podcast stuff. I don't even know what I'm posting. I'm just copying and pasting whatever stupidity he put here. He's got X links. whatever it is. If you click the YouTube one, you can follow him on X also. I'm going to label that Cynic on Ecstasy. And
yep,
there you go. So the link is there. I'm going to also throw the link into the chat. So this way you guys will have it there in the chat thing. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats, because it's possible. It's possible I did, and I got distracted.
I think there is one up there.
Yeah. I missed a bunch actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. T-Rex says, I missed days when the craziest.
I appreciate all that.
Can you ask Grok to combine the Jews, chemtrails, aliens, MK Ultra lizard people, into one mega conspiracy?
That's all just the Jews. We're gonna have just one word comes back.
We're gonna have to save that one for another time. Second time, Seth Dillon Bowden was at the Hamptons event. His statement in your MSG, Ackman, in your message, Ackman also made a full statement. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Kathy, we covered it. I think we covered it. And thank you, Kimmy, for dropping it in my DM. Joe, you're saying that Candace Owens said something bat guana crazy? Say it ain't so. Anyways, another breaking news. The sky is blue. Water is wet. Anyways, another breaking news. The sky is blue and water is wet. We need it. Amen. Amen, T-Rex. All right. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over in the ghetto, because they get very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. Yeah, properly.
Don't abuse the ghetto. All right. I'll go over there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I am on my way over to Locals, where I'm going to be watching Obama's retarded takes on Charlie Kirk and giving you my perspectives on that. I urge you, click the link, join us over there. The link is in the description. Link is pinned in the chat. You can, on both Rumble and YouTube. I'm going to be in there in like 3 minutes. Whether you join me or not, stay away from the lab meat. It's for they, them. It's definitely not meant for you. Do not eat the bugs. Don't do it. Don't eat the bugs. Have a good night, everyone. And thank you for joining. Godspeed.
Bye.